Popcorn World. Popcorn World.
Can I make you move now? Yes, I can. So you can get this move in the back of a can. But you make it round the world when the holes in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. The Popcorn World.
Now it's time for Believe in the ACC with our starting lineup. From Florida State, number 17, Charlie Ward. From Morehead State University, number 50, Lloyd Stan. And from Murray State University, number 2, Kendrick Haskett. Get ready for the best sports show about the ACC in all the land. Believe in the ACC starts now.
I'm excited today because this might be the most Louisville show we've had in a long time. It doesn't get more Louisville than what's about to happen right now. So if you are out of our normal listening range, which we typically are Louisville based, but a lot of people listen to us because we do NBA and different stuff like that. So if you're not in Louisville today, this show might skew away from you just a little bit, but it's still gonna be a good time. Still gonna be a good time. And it's going to be a good time because we have an incredible guest with us this morning on Believe in the ACC. He is Murray State royalty. He is a male high school Hall of Famer. He is the artist on Baltic Records. See, this is Kendrick not knowing. Baltic Records, the album The Coming.
I knew that.
Oh, you had to come. Oh, you got the coming. You
I
got
don't
the
have
coming.
it, but I know
then.
about it.
All right,
You
then.
told me I didn't know. I knew.
Okay, you knew. All right. And he's also, this is the part that's kind of mind blowing, a horse owner. Multiple horse owners, and his horses are good. And they're about to take over the Derby and all things Louisville. This is the great, incomparable Butch Mosby. His only flaw is that he went to Murray State. That's his only flaw.
You left out that he had the record for most completions.
Oh, I was going to get to that.
While at Murray State.
I was going to get to that because that's like part of his lure. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Butch Mosby is joining us this morning. I'm excited. I'm very, very excited because you are like one of the greatest multi-hyphenates male high schools ever had.
Male high school's got a lot of great athletes, a lot of great alumni that has done a lot of great things, and so I'm just honored that I was able to attend Male High School and also attend Murray State, and so I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to join your show. I appreciate it. Looks like you guys got a lot of content. You have a good time on there, so I'm ready to have a good time.
Awesome. I was going to ask: is it a requirement at Male that you be multi hyphenated? Like, because it says you're right. lot of male grads have a lot of stuff behind their name. So is that like in your freshman year in male, they were like, hey, are you going to do multiple things in your life? Like, are you going to own stuff? And
yeah,
that's why I didn't survive past my freshman year.
You're like, I'm doing one thing.
I actually said this in my Hall of Fame speech, is that, you know, male high school is very competitive.
Yes.
You know, it's like you competing for, if you on the football team, you're competing for your position. It's not like, you know, I went there as a freshman. There's some people that go there as a freshman and start, but you know, you had 2 or 3 quarterbacks ahead of you that were already all-stars, right? And so if you weren't on the track team, you got people that are fast. Even in the debate team, you got people want to out-debate you, right? So it's a very competitive environment. And so from that competitiveness, you know, it sparks you to kind of do things, right, in life. So I carry that competitiveness with me still today.
Male high school graduates are still competitive to this day. Like they still compete against other male grads and also manual grads and everybody else. Like they still are highly competitive, which I guess I like that. I like that the school breeds that type of atmosphere and attitude. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Right. Yeah, so, you know, so within the you know, within school, when we were in school, we were competitive, but as we're older now, it's kind of like male against everybody else, right? And so you say you're from St. X, it's kind of like, you know, hey, we want to compete against you in whatever you're doing. And so there's a few horse owners actually that are, you know, St. X and Trinity guys, and I'm like, oh, we got to beat them. We got to beat them, right? So,
and so, you know, for the rest of us public school kids, is like male. Of course, we wanted to take male down, but male was the one that can compete with Trinity and St. X.
Yeah. We never. My alma mater never competed against male like that.
We had our moments at Fern Creek.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Western High School, but we were in a rebuild.
Yeah,
I've been rebuilding for 40 years.
We rebuilding for a long time.
I grew up with a bunch of guys that went to Western High School. We played with those guys in Little League, like Rico Hughes. I mean, he was cold when he was in Little League. And he was pretty decent when he was at Western too, right? So
he was.
But Mel had just a whole full team, right? So but you guys had some athletes for sure.
We definitely had some athletes. It's just we just didn't have enough of the athletes.
And shout out to Rico. He's still doing his thing, helping young men develop in football. He's got his football programs going on. He actually sold me my car. And so like Rico does everything.
See, he could have went to Mayo. He's multifaceted.
I don't think that's necessary, Butch. Let's give us. We ain't got that many, right? That are multi-hyphenated. Let us have our few. Okay, so everybody's gonna want to, you know, whenever we do an interview, everybody's gonna want to talk to you about the game. So let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the record, right? 19 in a row. 22 of 23 against UT Martin. But let's talk about the day. Like, do you remember this day? Do you remember how it started? Do you remember how you were feeling? Like, is there a feeling that goes into that day where you come here like, I think this is gonna be a good day? Like how do you?
You know, it's interesting because I haven't talked about this in a long. I think I might have talked about it. A guy from Murray State had a podcast interview with me, but I hadn't talked about it since then for a while. So if I could think about what happened before that day, when we were warming up in the pregame, you know, I felt really good. It was like it was a cool night, but I felt like warm inside. I mean, I was firing on all cylinders in pregame. I was hitting all the passes, and so I felt good going into the game. But I didn't know that I was having that type of performance because early in the game, if you go back and watch the tape, I threw a screen pass to Cox was our fullback, and I threw a screen pass, and I missed. But it was a backwards pass, and it went out of bounds. It was considered a backwards. So I didn't know that I was on any type of streak at all, right? But I hit like the next 19, and then they were like, "Man, you know that you've hit, you know, you're on this streak." I was like, I had no idea. And I only missed one pass that whole entire game, and that's because I tried to force a ball. And you know, Coach Nutt after it was when he got interviewed is like he should have had a perfect passing completion because Wayne McGowan was wide open, but I just tried to force that dig, and so I could have been 23 for 23, but I'm happy with the 22 for 23, right? So
wow.
And
Yeah.
people
Man.
forget that game was on the road too.
it was on the road, and it was a good game too, right? And so it was, went into overtime. I think I threw the winning touchdown in overtime, right? So it was just it was exciting, and to win it in that fashion and to break the record, I mean, it was definitely one of the the highlights of my career for sure, my life actually, right?
That's
So
what's up. That's what's up. UT Martin, I remember, was pretty good back then. Like they would have ebbs and flows, like everybody in the OVC,
yeah,
but
they were
they
decent.
were pretty, they were a pretty good team back then as well.
Well,
So,
and when Murray was on the come up at that point too, because we had just gotten was that Coach Nutt's first year?
I think it was his
That was
first
Coach
year.
Nutt's first year.
Yeah.
That was Coach Nutt, and shout out to my other coaches before Coach Nutt, but Coach Nutt was different, man. He was on a whole different level.
And
I mean, he was a motivator.
Mhm.
And see, I was part of the senior class that helped get him hired, and we had interviewed 4 or 5 coaches before the athletic director brought us in to interview the coaches, right? And so I don't know, 8, 9 seniors sitting down with 4 or 5 different coaches interviewing them, and Houston Nutt came in like he was a late applicant, and so he came in last. And when he came in and we sat down with him, and he just started with one of those fiery speeches, and we were like, "Oh, yeah, he's got to be the man," right? So like, yeah. So and he was on it from day one, just changing the attitude and changing the culture of it, right? Just making you believe that we can actually win, right? And so I think we ended up going 4-5 that season or something like that.
Which
And
that
then
listen,
6-5
sometimes that's
the
all
next
you
time around.
need. That's
was
all you need
better.
is a little bit of belief.
Yeah.
Somebody who understands and says, "Hey, we think this is possible," which brings us to where you are now. Like you decided at some point in your journey that you could impact horse racing
Yeah.
as a black man in Louisville, Kentucky. How
Yeah, I
did you
know.
arrive at this place?
This is a wild story.
It is a wild story, right? And so, at heart, man, I'm just an entrepreneur, and I look for opportunities. And when I see other people doing things, in my competitive nature and competitive spirit, I'm thinking if he can do that, why can't I do it?
Okay.
So we were sitting at a bar, Capitol Grill to be exact, me and my lady friend, and this gentleman had on a Murray State sweatshirt right across the front. And
Okay.
my lady said, "Hey, my guy went to Murray State. You guys should start talking." And this guy, he was much older than I am, about 20 years older, but he was just a good conversation. And just come to find out, he also played football for Murray State. So we had this whole athletic sports conversation. Then we started talking about NIL deals, started talking about, who we knew, athletic department, all that good stuff. And, we were having such a good time. I didn't even think to even ask him what he did. But at the end of the conversation, it was like, "Okay, what did you do?" He's like, "Well, I'm in the horse racing business." I was like, "You're in the horse racing business?" Okay, all right. And so we had such a good time that he called me the next day to talk about NIL, to follow up about NIL deals, and went to lunch with him on that following Monday. And he was on the phone with the athletic director, and he was like, "Hey, man, I got Butch Mosby here," and we're talking to Nick, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm a Murray State alum, but I can't just pick up the telephone and call the athletic director, right?" So I'm like, "Who is this guy?" Right. And so then we get to talking about what he does is in horse racing. He tells me, he's won the Triple Crown and everything. I'm like, "Okay, all right. So tell me more." So the next thing you know, he says, "I want you to meet my wife." And so the next Friday, me and my lady went to dinner with him and his wife. And then, we hit it off and everything. Then the following week, he was like, "Well, I got some tickets to go to Dubai. I got a horse running in Dubai." I'm like, "What?" So the next thing you know, he gives us 2 tickets to fly to Dubai. and we go to Dubai and watch his horse run in the Dubai World Cup. And we're back there with all the sheiks and all the big, the big people in the industry and all that. And so we were just fascinated by the whole global experience, right? Because we went in Kentucky, we think Churchill Downs and the Kentucky Derby is it, right? But when you look at it from a global perspective, it's horse racing is kind of worldwide. So, long story short, I don't want to bore you guys with it, but he ended up taking us on about a 6 to 7 month tour with all of his horses. Went to the Preakness, went to the Belmont, we went to Saratoga, and along the way we met all of the influential people in the industry. And then me and my lady looked at each other and we were like, you know what, we got to jump into this somehow, right? And so one of those trips was to Keeneland, and we went to the auction and we just said, you know what, we're jumping in right now. We bought our first horse, part of our first horse in Keeneland. That was September 2024, right? So that's how we jumped in, right?
Wow.
We got a whole tutorial, whole education, and randomly met this guy, and then because we had that knowledge, we went ahead and jumped in.
Well, first of all, if you think for 1 second that a story about a trip to Dubai is boring, you clearly don't understand the story you're telling. That's incredible.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That is very crazy.
The world tour you went on ain't got nothing on the tour Tallahassee you about to go on right now with Coach Junior joining the show now.
Now listen, I'm gonna tell you something. The best part of our podcast day is seeing Coach Junior in the car going anywhere. It is a good time. So we hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoy it. Coach Ward, we give you the head coach of Florida A&M University basketball and an all-around good guy. We don't usually talk Heisman.
What did you say?
Much.
I couldn't hear you.
I said you are the coach of Florida A&M basketball and an all-around good guy.
Thanks.
See, I told you, but it's gonna be a good time. And this,
you keep going in and out. I'm on the road.
Headed
to work.
we know
For a meeting.
that's what makes it so special. And we have the great Butch Mosby with us, horse owner extraordinaire. And are you the CEO of Open Gate, or are you co-CEOs? How does it work? I don't know how it works.
Co-founders, right? I typically co-founders, right? I typically am the one that pretty much runs the operation and leads it. So I'm the president, but I've got founders and I've got partners, right? That do a lot. Typically whenever I'm having a business, I got a business or we start an organization that I'm in the front, but I've got a whole team behind me that are helping out. So.
Gotcha. I think my wife went to school with one of your partners, Lamar, I guess is his name.
Yeah, Lamar Young. Yeah.
She was like, I know Lamar. I was like, okay, I'll tell him.
Yeah, brother Young, he's been pretty instrumental. He's like the brains behind the scenes, right? So every once in a while he pops out, put his suit on, and makes us look good. But yeah, we talk pretty much every day, all day long, going back and forth with different ideas and stuff. And so, but yeah, we've got a team, man.
Awesome.
So I have a question for Butch. Is that okay if I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Before you ask the question, sir, I'd like to let you know that you were my favorite quarterback in college, right? So I always try to emulate your style, right? So it's an honor to be on here with the great Charlie Ward.
You're a QB in college.
I was, yeah.
Well,
he set their record the year you won the Heisman. I'm thinking we should have a stat off. No, I'm just kidding.
His stats. He had way more skills than I had.
He had a little step up in competition.
There's always somebody out there better. So you got to run your own race to the best of your ability.
I'm ready for your question.
So my question is, how does one train a championship horse? What are the methods and steps to training a championship horse?
Good question, man. And our organization, just kind of give you a little background of how we set up. Our organization, Open Gate, is more of a horse racing management company, and we manage the investors, manage the partners, manage the schedule, and then we partner with a trainer. And our trainer's name is Rodolphe Brissett. He's one of the top 50 trainers in the United States, and so it's mostly up to the trainers to train those horses, and they have different styles. Some of them run them really hard, and some of them wait till they develop and run them a little longer. It's kind of like track practice, right? They out there, they practice pretty much every day, but they run their sprints about once a week. They call that a breeze, right? So one of the things that is very important in developing a championship horse is his pedigree. And so, what does his bloodline look like? And so, Secretariat blood, does he got a Secretariat bloodline, or do they have a Miss Mo bloodline? What does that look like? And so that's how they determine how to buy the horses. And if you've got a very high end bloodline, your horse at the auction could go for as high as $1 million, right? And so, once you have that horse in your stable, then it's about training them, watching them, making sure they get into the right types of races so they can develop. Some horses and the horses have their own personalities, and they have their own attitudes. One day they feel like running, the next day they don't, right? And so you have to kind of just train and hope for the best sometimes. And so getting the horses in the right race, uh, building their confidence up, making sure that they're not getting blown out, because they do know when they're getting blown out, right? They're like, okay, I'm not running anymore, right? So, and so there's a whole process to it, and it's kind of like getting to the NBA or getting to the NFL. Very few of the horses actually get to the big races, right?
Wow.
So.
And like you brought up Secretariat, last year's Kentucky Derby, every horse was related to Secretariat somehow, some way.
Wow, that's interesting. Wow, that's really wild.
The whole field.
You've been in this since 2024, and you're already up to speed. Like this, I'm listening to you like, wow, for somebody who ain't been in this but a couple of years, you sound like you know what you're doing, Butch.
Man, I'm telling you, we went on a crash course. If it wasn't for Jack that introduced us to the game at such a high level, then we might have struggled in the beginning trying to get in to learn everything. But it was really like we went to a summer school, or took a semester and a half, 2 semesters of real life horse racing. And so just being there and talking to the people who have the skill and the knowledge, and you're able to glean from that and soak that up. It's very helpful for us, right? So if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to spit it like this. So, and I do my study, and now I watch old races at night instead of watching old football games or ESPN or whatever.
Right,
I'm watching old horse racing games, old horse races, right? I'll watch the '79 Preakness. Right,
I mean, when your mentor is won the Triple Crown, I mean, he's a pretty good person to learn from.
That helps.
Yeah. He won Triple Crown with Justified.
Okay. How important is the entry point to this field? Like you're coming in, like you said, with the credibility, instant credibility. How important has that been to the success that you're seeing so far?
Give it to me again.
How important, Lincoln? You said you talk about the knowledge that he's giving you, but how important is how has that bridged the gap, like with where you are now? Like you have a horse right now that's running pretty well, right?
We've got our stable. We've got 10 horses now.
Okay.
Right? Okay. And what we were taught is, if you want to sustain in the business, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So to buy one horse, if you put all your eggs there and that horse, gets a sprained ankle or whatever, he might not be able to run for a very long time, or if at all. And so then you've got your money there. So we're pretty much diversified across 10 different horses. And one thing that you should know is horses are not eligible to start running until they are 2 years old. Okay. And depending on their development when they're 2, they may not even run until they're 3. And so, the Kentucky Derby, Preakness, and the Triple Crown route, all of those horses in those races are 3-year-old horses, right? And so, our horses, I think we've got 6 horses that are 3-year-olds that are competing now, some better than others. So we have 3 horses that are competing at a very high level, and we have 1 horse that we think is the best horse in our stable, but she hasn't run yet. And so she'll probably run in a maiden special race. Probably we're looking sometime the week of Churchill Downs. Don't go out and say anything because we don't know until we're running we don't know when we're running until the week of, right? It's literally like Sunday. Okay, we're running on Friday. Everybody's scrambling to get to the race, right? So
Wow.
we have a target to run at Churchill Downs the week of Derby.
Wow, that's lofty goals considering the time you've been in. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, when Kendrick was interviewing me, he was like, "Do you realize that people spend all their lives trying to get to these types of races?" And we did it in our first year. First year we had 3-year-olds. But again, it goes back to the knowledge, man. If we had to start buying, tipping our toe in, buying $5,000 horse or $10,000 horse, we might not have ever made it, right? So we
Wow.
bought in at a pretty high level, and so we're competitive.
I love it. I love it.
Hey,
Go ahead,
Butch,
Charlie.
Yeah.
I know, I have 3 kids, and when my wife was pregnant with 2 of them, there was a time where we were still sitting there going through these baby books and trying to figure out a name. How do you guys come up with your names for your horses?
Oh, those are good questions, man. So I talked to the lineage of the horses, and what we try to do is start with a name that their father that is associated with their father or their grandfather or great grandfather, and try to come up with some variation of that. And so we've got a group of people that are investors and the partners, and so we all throw a name in the hat, and then we've got 1 or 2 people that are at the top of the of the name on the naming committee, and then they end up picking the name. So, for example, we have a horse called Holly by Golly, and the father of Holly by Golly is called Yaupon. And Yaupon, spelled Yaupon, Yaupon is a holly plant that is kind of like a tea, which is the only caffeinated tea that grows in the United States. So because it's a tea, it's a holly, then we went with Holly by Golly, right? So that's how she actually has a sister who also's name is Yaupon, and so we named her Caffeine Fix because it's caffeine, Yaupon, blah blah. So that's kind of how the process goes, right?
Okay. I never knew that. I never understood how they came up with these names. I just figured
that's how we do it. Some people do, they'll go, they'll name them after their kids, or they'll name them after their pet dog or something like that, right? So we got another horse called City Is Mine, and his father's name is City of Lights. So that's the association.
Gotcha. Now, the one I think I'm most familiar with is Holly by Golly, because Holly is the one that ran at Turfway and also Keeneland, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and so Holly's been having a good year, and unfortunately, she didn't run as well this past weekend. But she's won 2 races early on at Turfway, and then she came in second place, kind of like almost by like a head in a stakes race at Turfway. So she was 2 for 3 at Turfway, and then we moved over to Keeneland to run in the Ashland, which was a qualifying for the Kentucky Oaks. And that was a big deal. I mean, she's running against the best in the nation, right? And so the winner of that horse, the winner of that race, will go on a race in the Kentucky Oaks, and probably will be very competitive in that race.
Now, do you get several chances to qualify for the Oaks leading up to it? I know it's coming up fast, but
Yeah. So Kentucky Oaks and the Kentucky Derby run on a point system,
okay.
and what they have is what they call qualifying races or prep races, and
Mm-hmm.
it starts about September the year before,
Ah,
and you can run in those qualifying races, but your trainer has to point them in the direction of those particular races. And so if you go and you do well, you can run second or third. You grab your 10 points, you get another race, grab you another 30 points. And if you got enough points at the end of the season, then you qualify for the Oaks. The closer you get, you can get more points. So like this past week, if you win and you end because you would get 100 points for that win. And so, but yeah, it's on a point system.
I was going to ask. So, is it better to start late than early? Because it feels like there's maybe a strategy of not only just getting the points, but also kind of building that momentum to where, like, by the time you get, when you qualify, we're going to speak this into existence.
Yeah.
When you qualify for the Oaks, you not only got the points, but you also got those wins and the confidence of the horse under your belt. I'm just throwing something out there. I don't know.
Yes, I mean, it's very interesting because you would think about it like you think about it, you're running kids out there, right? Or
Right.
young athletes, but it all depends on the development of the horse, right? And you never want, because it's such an expensive animal, you never want to put your horse in jeopardy, especially with your investors and you're investing other people's money, right? And so if the horse is healthy enough to go along that path, then yes. However, it has its ups and its downs, right? One time a horse is feeling good, but he might sprain his ankle, and then if he sprains his ankle, he's got to take 3 months off, so he don't get to go to those qualifying races. We had a horse last year, King Solver. She was doing very well. That was our top horse last year. She had ran in like maybe 5 races, won 2, came in second place, and finished very strong in the other 2. But she got like a little bruise, and it was like we got to give her 2 or 3 weeks off. 2 or 3 months off and bring her back in, February of next year. So she missed those qualifying races. In addition to that, you got to know that the Kentucky Oaks and the Kentucky Derby are longer races. They're like a mile and a quarter, right?
Yeah.
And so these horses, when they're young, they can only really do maybe a quarter of a mile. So you're talking about extending it out, and very few horses can do. That's why it's so competitive. Kentucky Derby, the horses that competed in Kentucky Derby have never ran that distance before. So you don't know if they can make that distance or or not. That's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah. Wow.
Plus they got like 20 horses
field. Yeah.
And so
Right. It's so crowded. Yeah. When you were outside of the fence, as we like to say in Louisville for Derby, did you ever think you'd be inside of the fence like this?
Until I went to Dubai, I never even thought about having a horse or even being involved in the horse racing industry other than being a spectator and going to derby parties. That's it. We grew up going, having derby parties. It was already special enough that I was able to get to a point where I can afford to go to derby, right? Because, derby is expensive, right? And so it wasn't even a thing. So once I started to get to a position where I can go to derby, I'm like, okay, I like going to derby. Like, how can I go to derby every year? Now it's like I'm on the other side as an owner, and it's a whole different ball game, a whole different experience when you go in as an owner versus going in as a spectator.
What's the biggest thing you've learned since you've been an owner?
The networking possibilities and the opportunities to talk with people that could help you in business that you're doing other businesses, right? And so, I mean, there's a lot. It's kind of like going to the golf course and you're networking and going with people who, you want to do business with. I meet so many people back there that are doing so many different things, especially as an entrepreneur. You're like, oh man, maybe you can help me do this, or maybe you can give me some insight on that. It's like, it's like going to Harvard or something, right? You got this network of people that you can tap into that could help you out in life and business and other things, right? So such a lot of high profile people back there, man. And they're down to earth. Once they've realized that you're an owner, they're like, oh, come on in. But you got to have the credentials, right? So you got to have the bloodlines. You got to be able to talk that talk. And once you're able to talk that talk, they're like, oh, okay, come on in. They don't even care what color you are. They're like, okay, he knows what he's talking about. So yeah, man, that's the one of the biggest things.
I was going to ask that, like, how has the reception been as a minority owner? Has it been pretty seamless, or does it matter at this level?
No, I haven't felt any. There's not a lot of us in the industry, right?
Right.
So, but I haven't felt any pushback from the horse racing community as to what we are trying to do. We're not just trying to be horse owners, but we're also trying to open doors for other people that look like us, right? And so we're proactively going out to people, that look like us, black and brown, not limited black, but black, brown, diverse, different types of people who may never have this opportunity. And so we sit and talk to them and tell them about the investment and all that good stuff. And, that's our intention. We're intentional about that, right? And so the people that we come across, we tell them, like, this is what we're doing. And we showed up at Keeneland with, 15 brothers and sisters.
Wow.
Right? They're like, wow, so the reception from the horse ownership community is like, okay, all right, we need some diversity in here. And so they're welcoming. If there is anybody that's looking at us, it's actually from the spectator standpoint, like, oh, these brothers walking in here with all of this, going into the paddock and stuff. Right?
I love that.
So,
I love that. I wish I could see you guys walking in like a scene from
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X, right? Brother Johnson with all his people. That's I bet that's quite a view. I want to talk about something else though, because that's not the only thing you're doing.
Hey,
Charlie, you gotta go.
Charlie, you got something?
yeah, I need to jump off. But Butch, I just want to ask this one last question.
yes, sir.
Hey man, when you go to Dubai, can you put me in your backpack?
I got you, man. I got you.
I'm trying to see how I can get over there to Dubai so I can start networking. I'm here at FAMU, and we need some resources. And I want to see how I can get in Dubai to help out the brothers and sisters here at FAMU.
That's right.
Okay, you know what? Guess what? Now I'm a fan of FAMU. I was a Florida State fan back in the day when you were playing. So now you over there, FAMU.
He's still a Seminole.
Whatever you need, man. If I can help, just let me know.
All right. Well, don't say that too loud because I'll be calling after this meeting.
Since we asking for stuff, Charlie, I'm gonna need that hoodie.
The hoodie is awesome. That hoodie is just put it in the same box as those LeBron shoes. That's all you got.
Oh yeah, it's a whole care package.
A whole care package.
I'm still trying to get my LeBron shoes. I'll send them when I get mine.
But for full disclosure, LeBron, I don't know if you saw it, but he earlier this season debuted some Rattler shoes with the actual Rattler logo on it, and they were incredible. And we've been hoping that he would give Charlie the shoes since he, coaches for the Rattlers. And so he sent him some shoes, just not those shoes. He want those shoes. So, but if we can get this whole Dubai thing working, Charlie, see what I'm going?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, Charlie? Let's get this whole thing going. We can have our shoes by July.
Hey, we can take
I'm
the
not-
show on
I'm
the
not
road
sure
to Dubai.
I'm not sure what a minority owner looks like, but I can give $1,000. Is that minority?
There you go.
You get on a strand of hair.
There you go. Hey, I'll take it.
What? Now I'm curious to know what $1,000 gets you at open gate.
Not a horseshoe.
Hey, all right. Hey, I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate
All
you,
right, man.
Charlie.
Good to talk
All
to
right,
you.
Nice
Coach
meeting you,
Junior.
Butch.
You as well.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
All right. Charlie Ward, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's always a good time with Charlie Ward. Always.
Yeah,
Always.
our nickname for him is Coach Junior because he's Charlie Ward Jr. So we
Yes.
just call him
Okay.
Coach
All
Junior.
right. Junior. Coach Junior.
Coach Junior. Coach Junior. Yes, yes.
I don't think he had that nickname before this show, but
He did not. He did not. We gave that is an
Y'all
original.
creating characters here.
Well,
hey, Charlie's a character all on his own.
listen.
When he's got time, he's now that he's coaching college basketball, he doesn't have as much time. So that's what we get him. We get him when he's on his way to stuff. But before, and he get to telling his Florida State stories back when he was a punter. I don't know if you knew that, Butch. He was a punter at one
He
point.
started
I
as
didn't
a
know that.
punter.
Yeah. He
And
just
Florida State?
Yes.
Yeah. He just was trying to get on the field, so he was punting. And he was playing in Syracuse and was trying to hit the roof with a punt.
I have to go back and look at that.
Yeah, I did. We have not found the footage yet, but I want to find the footage. It's like
Yeah.
Charlie Ward punting is crazy. Like that sounds crazy. That sounds crazy. All right. So I want to talk about Sponsor for Success because that's as amazing as what you're doing on the horse racing side. Talk a little bit about Sponsor for Success.
Yeah, man. Okay. All right. Sponsor for Success. We started that probably back in 2016-ish, 15. It actually started out as Sponsor for Sports because it was sports that obviously allowed me to go to college. And also, I don't know if you know, but I ended up playing football in Germany for several seasons. And so once I got to Germany, that kind of like opened my eyes to the possibilities of what one could do instead of being like in this closed-minded environment and born and raised in Kentucky. And so I was working for a company called getaroom.com, which is in the online travel space. And I knew that we were going to sell this company and I had a stock option package. And I knew that I was going to end up retiring from corporate America. And I wanted to do something that gave back to the community that raised me. So one day I was sitting in Starbucks in Dallas and these kids came up to me and asked me to buy some candy bars. And I asked them why they selling candy bars. And they said that they were trying to raise money to go to a football tournament in Florida. And they needed this for the transportation. So I gave them like $20 or whatever. And I told them keep the candy bars. And that just dawned on me. And that's the time social media was coming up. And I think I put it on social media on Facebook and said, why is it that black kids have to sell candy bars to go to these tournaments when, white kids and white organizations, their families, they just call Aunt Sarah or,
Right.
Uncle Ken, and they give them the money. They don't have to be out here soliciting in the middle of the street or asking strangers at Starbucks, right? So came up with this concept with, called Sponsor for Sports. And, I put it out on social media and said, I'm looking for any athletes that need some help. And, this was right when crowdfunding and GoFundMe was on the rise, 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
And, somebody came to me and said, we've got the Little League football down in the West End that needs help. And literally I put out a social media Facebook post and, asking for like $1,500. In 24 hours, I had $1,500. I was like, oh, okay, all right. Wasn't a lot of money, but I was like, okay, people are willing to help, right? Yeah. And so that's how Sponsor for Sports started. And then I got with Brother Young, who's helped co-founded Sponsor for Success. We changed the name from Sponsor for Sports to Sponsor for Success because more people needed help in music, in education. And so we couldn't just limit it to sports. And so that's how Sponsor for Success started. And so we've helped over 500 kids, raising money for them to do anything from, buying books to go to school, buying instruments for the band or whatever. We've sent kids to Africa, to Europe on educational tours. But they're educated. They get invited, but then they come back to mom and say, "Well, the trip is $4,000." Right, and then kids who families may have financial struggles won't be able to go. And so we were like, we don't want any kid that is connected to us not to be able to stay on this path towards success just because of financial reasons. So we started raising money for these particular types of things. So that's, the nuts and bolts of how Responsible Success started.
Let me tell you why that's important to me, because I am a product of those type of programs. I went to school on a scholarship where a businessman in Louisville decided, hey, I'm going to sponsor some kids in schools that don't necessarily get those type of scholarship opportunities. And he gave me an opportunity to go to school for free and paid for all 4 years of 4.5 years of my schooling. So I am those type of things are very near and dear to my heart. And so when I see brothers like yourself who are out here doing that type of thing, and we're trying to do that type of thing, my wife and I now, but when I see people doing those type of things, I get excited because I know how valuable they are to the young man or the young woman who is like a diamond in the rough and nobody saw them and they didn't have the opportunity and they would have never got to Costa Rica or Ireland or Germany or Tanzania or wherever you're trying to send them. Had somebody not stepped up and said, hey, I see something here in this young man and this young woman. Let me get this $4,000 together and send them on over here for an educational tour. That's important. So I appreciate that. I wanted to give that an opportunity to be heard today.
How did you arrive at Tanzania?
Butch knows why I got to Tanzania. Butch knows because I know how to do my. No, I'm doing my research. This is called journalism. I know Butch is sending folks. No, Butch is sending folks to Tanzania.
We could have used y'all in '98 when we won the flag football championship, and they wanted to send us to New Orleans, and we couldn't afford to go.
Where were you in '98, Butch?
Yeah, we was dominating flag football in Murray.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
We wasn't a fraternity, so we didn't have any backing.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. But listen, man. The things that you're doing, man, are incredible right now. I'm so excited and proud of you, man. This is I love to see Louisville guys doing their thing, man. This is so cool.
It's, being able to travel and to see, after I came back from Germany, I was in online travel for 18 years. So first company I worked with was hotels.com. Then we sold that company to Expedia. And then the guys that started hotels.com started getaroom.com. And I jumped on with them. So I had a 18-year career in online travel, which afforded me to be able to travel around and see a lot of different people, talk to a lot of different people from all walks of life. I even lived out in California for a while. That's a whole different ball game than living in Dallas, Texas, right? And so, so all of that has shaped who I am. And then when I come back to Louisville, was so slow, man. It's Louisville was like 7-8 years behind everything, right? So,
yeah.
To come back to be able to share some of that knowledge with some of the people here and tell them, hey, the world is much bigger than Louisville, Kentucky. It's bigger than University of Louisville basketball. It's bigger than the UK U of L game, right? It's big.
Right.
So, just go explore it and learn as much as you can. And if you want to come back, then come back and, build your career or build your families here. But just don't just be in a bubble, right? Because there's so much out there.
My lovely wife has chimed in, and she's saying apparently you've met with Marshawn Lynch, and Marshawn, by the way, is one of my favorite human beings on earth. Anytime Marshawn goes to do an interview, I'm watching that interview.
I'm watching it every time.
I know it's going to be a good time. But one of the smartest men on earth as well. Very, very astute and very, very savvy. So, did you enjoy your time with Marshawn?
It was a very brief time, and I don't know 100%, but I think our horse raced against. Well, he's in the industry, and so our horse raced against his horse in the Ashland. I believe that to be true because he was in the paddock with a group of owners that I know that we were racing, but I don't know 100% if he's a part of that ownership group.
Yeah.
But that's why he was in the paddock during that time, is because it was right before our race. And so someone for our group went up to him and said, "Hey, here are some, black horse race owners." He was like, "Oh, okay, all right." And so he came over, talked to us for a few minutes, and we took a photo all together. And it was it was a good experience. And he had some brothers there with him, and they were like, "Yeah, we're in the horse racing industry," and they had bought into last year's Kentucky Oaks winner Torpedo Anna, and so they own a part of that, right? And so, just to see Marshawn, because I would love to build something where athletes are coming to put some of their money into the horse racing industry to help with the whole mission of opening doors for Black and brown people too, right? So to see Marshawn Lynch involved, I'm like, oh man, this is great, right? And Lamar Jackson is involved a little bit in Baltimore doing some things with horse racing, and just to see the athletes get into it, I mean, I love that. And so hopefully we can make connections like that, exchange telephone numbers, and just see what the possibilities are. So,
and I'll tell you what, Kendrick, you've been covering horse racing forever, so you could probably testify to this as well. I think the horse racing industry needs this. Like, it needs an injection of new blood, new ideologies, new faces, because right now it's kind of been very, very stagnant. And like, the Derby is still the Derby, and it's still a good time, and it's still the biggest horse race on planet Earth. But it's like the lure of it that we grew up with is not quite the same as it used to be, and it needs more guys like yourself who can bring new faces and new energy.
I mean, right now it's like you think of horse racing, you really just think of Bob Baffert at this point,
right?
And Baffert's getting up there in age. Todd Pletcher's still around. The crazy thing, Butch, I don't even know if you know it, but there's only been one horse trainer from Louisville to win the Kentucky Derby. And that's Brad Cox, and he won by the disqualification that when Baffert's horse got DQ'd a few years ago. So that's the only time anybody from a trainer from Louisville has won the Kentucky Derby. And so
I know that.
That's wild. So Brad's got 2 horses up on the points lead. I think he has the most points. He's got the 2 points leaders and 3 of the 5 this year.
Wow.
And so it's a hard game. It's very hard.
It's very hard.
And I was telling Butch that, I was like, man, it's not normal for you to be here this fast.
Well, it's funny, Butch, Kendrick does a lot of stories every day, but he was super excited about this. He said, Lord, you're not gonna believe what I just did. And I was like, really? I said, that sounds interview worthy, because I'm very curious about guys that do the opposite of what everybody expects. And this is definitely one of those I'm doing the opposite of what everybody expects type situation, which means you're gonna always have our full support. Anything we can do to help, we're gonna do that. Connect you to whoever we can connect you with. But this is a very unique situation, because I think if you do this right, man, history can be made. I think you're already doing that. I think you're blazing a trail that I've not seen blazed. I don't know anybody that looks like you that's been doing horse racing and has had this much success this fast.
Because it was black jockeys used to be the main ones running the
right
horses, in the early days of horse racing. It kind of got away from that. I think Kendrick Carmouche might be the closest that we have right now actually riding the horses. But us as African Americans have a long history with horse racing, so it's good to see us getting into the ownership part of it. Because we've been the groundskeepers and the jockeys and all of that, but to see us being on the ownership part of it, man, it's just so good to see.
So I'm almost afraid to ask you this question, but in 5 years, do you see yourself standing in the winner's circle at the Derby? Like, is that the goal, or what is the goal?
Well, I'm really competitive, right?
I love it.
I got to tell you,
Butch, talk reckless. This is your time to talk reckless.
And so we want to be in the winner's circle. Absolutely, at Churchill Downs would be the ultimate, right? That would be the ultimate, right? However, with that being said, we've been in the winner's circle on a smaller scale, and we love that feeling of being in the winner's circle. We get a big taking, holiday, we get a trophy for stakes wins. So yes, we want to be in the winner's circle. All right.
I love it.
On one side of it, the other side is we want to open the doors for as many people that look like us, right? And so, if I can get 50 people in as owners going to Churchill Downs, right? That is just as makes me feel just as good as being in the winner's circle, right? And then that continues to grow, and we can build something that is sustainable. And I'm not saying we're going to change the face of horse racing, right? I might get shot for saying that, right? But it's like if we can inspire people that look like us, and not only just us as older guys, but the younger generation as well. The equine industry is a industry, right? It's not just about the horses run. They got veterinarians, right? They've got all kinds of trades that you can learn within the equine industry. They got scholarships that you can go to for equine. And so I want to inspire a group of people that look like us to be involved in the industry year round versus just on Kentucky Derby week.
I love
the whole industry. Like you said,
I love it.
The equine industry and the University of Kentucky has a very, very good equine educational system there. I think U of L has an equine program as well. And so, there's other avenues you can go in when it comes to horse racing. There's so many places, and Butch, you could talk about it too. When you go on the backside of a racetrack, it's a whole different world. I mean, everybody's kind of minding their business, but it's you see black, brown, white. I mean, it's not just one group of people you see back there. You see all kinds of different cultures back there, and it's its own culture. It's full of its own personalities. When I was hiring my new reporter, I was telling her it's like the best part about covering horse racing when it comes to the Derby is like there's always a story to tell because there's some characters back there.
Great story.
Great some characters in horse racing, and I'm sure Butch, you've come across a few characters yourself.
If you want to specifically know more about what Butch and his team is doing, you can go to oghorses.com and check out everything. It's a phenomenal website. It's easy to navigate, so it's got all the information. I don't know if it has contact. I guess I'm assuming it has contact information if you are someone who saw this and you're like, I want to get in. Look, my wife's listen, baby, we ain't there yet. We getting there. We on our way. We'll call Butch in a little while, but
we still in the Go Butch Go stage.
We're in the Go Butch Go stage right now. We'll get to the hey Butch, let's talk stage of the whole thing. But I love it.
Let me get a strand of hair.
Let's talk. Can we talk sports for a minute just before we let you go, man? Can we talk like some local sports and large? Because you mentioned that a lot of what you started with an NIL conversation. How much would Butch Mosby had loved to been able to take advantage of the NIL situation? How do you feel about the NIL situation?
So, first of all, NIL. If I was able to get some money in college, man, I'm telling you, I would take that money and I'd go wherever they give me the money. Right. I grew up in humble beginnings. I wasn't, dirt poor or anything like that. But college is expensive. Even on a full ride scholarship, you still had to have day-to-day money to survive. So I don't know if you remember this or not, Kendrick. And this is probably illegal back then. I was the team barber. I taught myself. I was so broke. I didn't have. I couldn't get a haircut. So I think somebody gifted me a pair of clippers. And I learned how to cut my own hair. And so once I straightened up my line and I had my fade going, other people were like, man, can you cut my hair? So I ended up becoming the team barber. Thursday nights, 15, 20 head people were coming up to the room and I was cutting their heads. And that's how I survived in college was as a barber. And that's probably against the rules, right? It's like a job.
Yeah.
And trying to survive.
It's a job they couldn't catch you on because
everybody's
paying in cash.
Right. You can't trace that one. Yeah.
Right. My homeboy Julian Wallace took up the trade after you left.
That's right. And so so if you go to NIL, I'm all for. I was all for paying the athletes. I was all on that side. Now, with that being said, it's kind of like the wild, wild west. It's like out of control.
Right.
It's like people throwing money here, throwing money there, and then now they become these guys, these young guys are thrown into like more becoming professional athletes. And now the fans are getting mad at him, like, hey, he's taking all the money and like he didn't play, right? And so, it's I think NIL is good, but there still needs to be some regulation and some rules around it to keep it, so to make sure that it's sustainable, right? It should never be that the school with the most money can buy the best players and they always win all the championships.
Yeah.
Right. And so on one side, that probably was already happening to a certain extent.
Yeah.
On the other side,
we just know how much it costs now.
Right.
You get the right group of people together, and all of a sudden it becomes more competitive.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm on the fence with it, man. I'm for the kids who make the money. I'm not for all the shady back stuff that goes on behind it, right? So
it's a weird atmosphere. These last 4 years that we've been covering it between the NIL and the transfer portal has been crazy. Like I'll just be honest with you. As journalists, we're just like in awe of everything that's going on a regular basis. But
to me, it's not as much the NIL as it is the transfer portal.
Transfer portal,
combination of the two. But for a kid just to be able to up and leave without, because back when we was in school, you had to sit out a year if you transferred, and now they can just transfer willy nilly. Now, I think you should get a transfer year, and then if a coach leaves, you should be able to leave if the coach leaves, and then that's it.
I'm not a big fan of the transfer portal though. Yeah.
I'm like, how are these kids getting a degree when they're at a different school all 4 years? I mean,
those kids are not, a degree is the last thing that these kids are worried about right now.
I know, but I'm like, how does that work in the education system? Because remember, you used to transfer, you had to have certain credits and all that stuff.
The stuff had to line up. It wasn't just you just left. Yeah, it had to line up.
And you never know how that affects a kid later on in life, right? Does he now believe that if he doesn't like his job, he can just jump in the transfer portal and get another job? Right?
Don't work like that. Real world don't work like that.
And so, it's just interesting. And I'm not I know I've got kids young, but I'm not as connected to the working kid like the late 20s or the 30s. I don't know I know there's a lot of people making money off content, YouTube, TikToks, and they're like, I'm never going to work. I'm never going to work, a 9-to-5 job, right? So, So yeah, it's interesting.
No, I think you're right. I think it has created a mindset that is work transferable. Like I don't have to stay here and do this thing and take this, which there's some good and bad and even in that, right? Like if you're in a bad situation at work, you need to go, you try to go somewhere else. I get it. A lot of us wouldn't have done that back in the day. We just stay there and endure or whatever. These kids ain't doing that. They're like, I can go somewhere else or just go to the house and do, like you said, TikTok videos or whatever. I'm conflicted even about that because you want longevity, and it's a message that you end up having to teach your kids and saying, listen, that's really not how the world works. Like you can't just up and leave every time things don't work out the way you want.
And you're seeing that with so many players applying for extra years of eligibility. Like the guard at Tennessee last year, Denzel Aberdeen, who played for Kentucky this past season. He's played his 4 seasons. And not only is he appealing for an extra year of eligibility, he's also in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
And it's like, these guys, when they realize that, the NBA is not in their future, they're trying to stay in college and get as much of that money as they can. And I heard Calipari make the argument. He's like, they go from making $250,000 to making $70,000 when they get out of college. I'm like, well, for one, they ain't gonna make $70,000 in most careers. And two, you also, but I wish I had a $250,000 head start.
Right. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the arguments for regulation aren't as great as you would think that they would be, because it doesn't seem like it should be this hard. Because I love to hear Jay Billis talk about it. He's like, "Hey man, listen, let's not be hypocrites, because these coaches are doing all kinds of I'm leaving, I'm going to take." So I get the juxtaposition between both sides.
That's why I say they should be able to leave if the coach leaves.
Yeah, 100%. But it is to your point, Butch. It is crazy out here right now. How are you viewing the local scene, the Louisville, Kentucky scene, and Murray State? You want to throw Murray State in there? How are you viewing that scene as it relates to sports today, as it relates to when you were playing? Do you enjoy it? Is it still exciting to you, or are you thinking, this is kind of crazy?
I'm actually surprised I'm not more involved in sports than I am. It's because I'm such an entrepreneur. I'm always doing some type of project, right? I got something else to do. So I don't have a lot of time I don't even watch sports until like the big games. Like I watched the UConn game the other night and UConn Michigan, but I wasn't even if Louisville wasn't playing, I wasn't even keeping up with it. And so and if I had a do-over in life, I'd probably become a coach because I loved football, but because of my business career, it's taken me away from sports, and I haven't been, involved in it. Other than when my son was younger, he was a soccer player, and so I was, the coach of his teams growing up. But locally, I'm just not involved. I don't go to the male high school games. I don't keep up with it until it's playoff time. So, I'm just not involved there, right? So.
Mel's got a sophomore basketball players, and they got a sophomore basketball players, and
he's it. He's
if he stays at Mel, you know how it is now. They all go to prep school. If he stays at Mel, he's got a good shot at winning Mr. Basketball. Is going to be a 4 or 5 star recruit. He probably will be a 5-star recruit by the time he's a senior. He's that good. I've known
he's putting up crazy numbers.
I've known that kid since he was in 7th, 8th grade, and he's a good kid on top of it. And so he's the real deal.
Well, that is incredible. I'm so glad you were able to come this morning, man, and enjoy it.
Yeah, man.
This has been a treat for me. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. I hope you have as well.
I have, man. And we need people like you all to kind of help us tell the story. And, my partner, he's like, man, but you got to get out there on the road and get on some of these podcasts and get in the media and get to talking to some people about what we're doing. And I was hesitant about it. He's right. I was hesitant about it because, the more that we expose ourselves or the more that we tell the story, the more eyes are going to be on us. And I wanted us to reach a certain level of success, sustained success before it, kind of blows up, right? Because last thing we need is they ain't even they horses running. They ain't even.
Because you know how we are.
Right. Horse came in last place. You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, this is correct. But
it's correct. To get a few wins under our belts, a few bigger wins, and so we can say that we have a footing in the industry. We don't want to be here today, gone tomorrow, if you will, right? And we want to be able to tell that story that, the purpose of this is to open doors for Black and Brown, not just about, standing in the winner's circle, although that's the ultimate, that's the cherry on top, right? So yeah, but we need you guys. And so thank you for allowing us to tell our story.
Absolutely. And anytime you want to come back and you got great good news or breaking news or whatever, feel free to come. You have an open door policy, sir, just to come back and say whatever you need to say.
And I also have another podcast for you to do too, but I'll give you that information.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely. Guy in Lexington.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm ready for it, man. I'm ready.
Well, you got any shout outs before you go? You got any shout outs you want to give? We don't mind doing shout outs on this show.
Shout out to my lady Karamaki. Shout out to my partner, brother Lamar Young. Shout out to the Sponsor for Success team, board of directors. Shout out to Rodolph Brissett, the trainer. Shout out to Storyteller Racing, which is some of our partners, majority shareholder. and Jack Wolf, who got me into the game.
Awesome.
Jack Wolf. When I say there's characters in horse racing, he's one of them.
He's one of those
I love Jack. Jack's awesome.
All right. Well, we got to get more.
He's just a good guy, man.
Yeah.
We got to get more of the team of Open Gate on the show as well, too. We got to get some of the other guys on here, especially the trainer and Lamar and those guys.
Yeah.
Get them on. Yeah. Let them know they are welcome here as well.
Young one. He's insightful. Absolutely.
That's what's up. Well, thank you, sir, for coming through.
Now?
Huh?
So well, it's up to you. Show now?
It's up to you. We gonna talk NBA. If you want to stick around for some NBA talk, feel free. I don't know if you, but
how far you go? What do you go? Another 45 minutes?
I mean, it's gonna be
about roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go to work. I gotta get.
That's gotta be a whole lot of me saying LeBron's got gout. And
he does not have gout. I don't know why you keep saying that. It's
the gout
not true.
What now that Luka and Austin Reeves are?
It's not true. The gout thing is not true. You see, he's the reason why we don't have these shoes yet. This guy right here, right there, is the reason. We'd have been had them shoes had this gout conversation not come up.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right, brother. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Butch.
All
right, now, ladies and gentlemen, Butch Mosby doing his thing. I mean, really doing his thing. That's incredible.
And low key, he's got a nephew who's will be a junior this year in high school.
Okay.
He's at IMG Academy.
So he's whatever sport he's playing.
He's playing football. He's a defensive back. He's really good. So I'm like right in between Butch and his younger brother. It's like Butch is 3 years older than me. I think his younger brother is like 2 years younger than me, 2 or 3 years younger than me. So I'm like right in between the Mosby family. So I've been knowing them for a long time. Just good people, hard workers, competitive, and they look to give back to the community. They're just really good people.
No, listen, which is one of the reasons why I mentioned the nonprofit. That type of stuff is so important, and it doesn't always get the sponsor, like places like things like sponsors said are so important. They don't always get the voice that it needs to be able to keep flourishing and keep bringing in the dollars. The nonprofits is so hard to bring the dollars in, especially today when the dollars aren't flowing like that, like it used to flow. So if you can give a voice to any of those nonprofits, you need to give it to them. So shout out to Butch and those guys doing amazing things with their platforms. Okay, so that was BLEAV, and that was the horse racing side of BLEAV. We don't usually give you a horse racing side of BLEAV, but we've done that today. But we do have to talk a little bit about the games that went down this past weekend. And by the way, both games extremely anticlimactic. Like there was nothing to get excited about in either one of those games. The one thing I think we learned in both games that you can't coach height.
Right. I mean, Michigan is just bigger than everybody.
They're big
and talented. Lindenberg was so good in that game.
Yeah.
And then, but you see how big that May is inside.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what do you do with that? Because they're strong too. They're not just tall. They're big.
And May and Lindenberg are skilled. They are actually skilled.
Yeah.
So they can put the ball in the hole, or they can affect on which is what's more accurately to that particular game. They affect shots. They make you make a decision that I'm not going to drive to the basket because I can't drive to the basket. And so that explains why I think UConn was like 9 of 33 or some ridiculous, insane number missing threes. And if you can't score inside and you can't score outside, you can't win. It's that simple. Right. This is not rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. So
that's what made me laugh at halftime of that game. It was probably my favorite part of the game because UConn was up with like 4 at halftime.
Yeah.
And Kenny and Clark Kellogg going on and on about how this is the game UConn wants to play and blip, 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 blip. And Charles was like, Michigan hadn't made a 3 and they're only down by 4.
Right.
It's like, and I said, he's like, y'all right. They doing all of that, but they're only up by 4.
Yeah.
and that's true.
They've achieved nothing. Like it wasn't a good game for UConn because they did all the things they wanted to do, and it was barely working.
Yeah.
And
Michigan wasn't making any threes, which Michigan makes a ton of threes, and they
right.
still only made 2 or 3 threes in the game.
They made two. They made two.
But when the one they needed, the dagger, they got
that was a dagger, right? Exactly.
And so if Michigan is in the game and they're not making threes, yeah,
it's not a good sign.
No.
Right. It's not a good sign. I agree with you. I was like, I don't know what game Kenny and Clark are watching, but
I love Kenny, but a lot of times I don't know what game Kenny's watching.
sometimes it is a mystery that you know what game Kenny is watching. Like, are we watching the same game? I feel like we are. And then also on the women's side, also very, very, very anticlimactic. Although we got to a very not intense argument, but a significant argument on Tuesday. Shout out to the guys of the Five. They're talking about, was there any emotional and psychological layover from the Gino Auriemma experience in that UConn game? And it seems like South Carolina sold out tremendously for that game to win that game. And then all of the things that happened in the game and then after the game and then after the game, did any of that spill over into the championship game? Not giving UConn an out. Not UConn. Not giving South Carolina an out for the UCLA game because UCLA is tall. And they use their tallness to
tall with 3-point shooting.
Right. And by the way, after watching the two teams, not really sure what South Carolina prides themselves on their defense and being able to set their defense after scoring. The problem was they couldn't score. Right. And so you can't score, you can't set a press, you can't put pressure. That's the ball game. You don't, because you're not tall enough to do anything else.
Yeah, you're not getting offensive rebounds.
No,
against Betts and the crew. That was a game. I was surprised. I as far as the layover from the UConn game, I don't think it was necessarily the Gino Auriemma stuff. I think it was just, like you said, they put so much into beating UConn because they had a stat the other day. They're talking about all the teams that have beaten UConn in the tournament go on to lose their next game because they put so much into beating UConn, beating UConn, and then you got to play another game,
right?
And so I think that was as much to do with it. But at the same time, I'm not taking anything away from that UCLA team. They were dominant. Let me say they had bigs that were not only just big, but they're athletic. They basketball IQ through the roof. The play that stood out to me was in the second. I mean, the game's already in hand, but it's a loose ball. They kick it back to Betts. Betts had nobody's gonna stop her. She goes to the basket. Right. She had a shooter here at the top of the key and a better shooter right here at the elbow, and she kicked it to her. She knocks down a three. Yeah. And that was just like that's just basketball IQ right there. And
listen,
shout out to their coach.
To your point, I knew they were in trouble in the second quarter, I think it was, where there was a missed three-pointer, and Gabriela Jaquez, who I think was standing at the top of the key at the time the shot went up, ran past two South Carolina players, grabbed the rebound and put the ball immediately back up. I said, listen, that's called effort. That's called the extra play. And South Carolina doesn't seem interested in making that today because there were three South Carolina players standing there and none of them went after the ball. And by the time they realized that she had the ball, it was too late. She was already running down. She had the game of her life, by the way. She was that. She probably played herself onto. She at least played herself into a WNBA tryout. I don't know if she'll go. I don't think she'll go first round. She might go second. Because I don't know if that's who she is. It may be. I don't know. I haven't seen enough UCLA basketball.
Seems like she had a pretty good year.
She had a hell of a game. Let's just call it like when you win the MVP. She didn't win the MVP. Lauren Betts won the MVP, but she should have won for that game. She should have
Yeah,
she should have won the MVP. But I just think they had a lot of great moves. By the way, shout out to the point guard Kiki Rice. Did not know she was as fast as she was. That girl is fast. I was like, and very sure-handed with the ball. I looked at a lot of mocks for the draft that's coming up on Monday, and they all seem to have her going in the first round, which I can understand. I don't know if she's a great shooter, but she's definitely a great playmaker.
What stands out, because I'm just looking at the box score real quick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
UCLA only had 9 points off the bench, and that was from one person.
Right. Their seniors did everything in that game, and that was so dope to see that a senior-led team just go ahead and do what they do. And
because Hawkes had 21 and 10, and Betts had 14 and 11.
And I mean, Hawkes had a dominant 21 and 10 because everything she did, it seemed like every shot she made was an impactful shot. It would stop a run, or it would increase a lead, or it would like that one little section of time where South Carolina seemed to be trying to close the gap. It almost felt like Hawkes and Betts single-handedly shut that down. They were making every shot and all the tough shots, all the second chance points. They were doing everything. So
they held South Carolina to 29% shooting, 13% from three. That's
crazy. So yeah, great shout out to UCLA for shout out to the Big Ten, who had a pretty good weekend, to say the least.
They've had a pretty good 26.
Let's not forget that Indiana is the champions of football. So yes, they have had a good 2026, and I'm sure their commissioner is thrilled. All right, let's jump over into no theme song today. No theme song. Let's just keep it. Let's just jump over into the NBA, where I blame Cameron Alexander for everything that has happened to the Lakers here in the recent this recent week or whatever. And some of you say, who is Cameron Alexander? I know him as his government name, Cameron Alexander. You know him if you watch The Five as Killer Cam. Cam said to me a week prior, he said, hey, man, I said, hey, man, we're doing great. We're in the 3 seed. We should probably just kind of ease in to these last 6 games and just focus on just being healthy, because Luka can't keep playing and scoring 40 points a game. And we both agreed on that. But then he said, nah, man, my wife and I are going to that Oklahoma City game on the 2nd. I really want to see him. And I said, nah, man, he's put on too much time. He needs to take a break and just, we don't need to show all of our cards to Oklahoma City. Take the L. It's not a big deal. Just send some guys out. And he said, nah, man, I done paid for tickets. I got some good seats, and I want to see Luka play live. Well, guess what, Cam? You saw it, and your desire to have him play cost us Luka and Austin Reeves. Thanks, buddy. Not that we were going to win a championship without him.
I was going to say, in Cam's defense, it didn't matter if they played or not. They weren't going to beat the Thunder in those series regardless.
It did
what
not
cards
matter.
are they going to not show that's going to make a difference?
It did not matter at all. That game could not have gone worse.
I mean, they were down 30 when he got hurt.
I was like, after the first quarter, I was thinking, JJ, just pull everybody. Like, there's no reason to
now, I'm with
this.
you on that one. I am with you on that one.
Yeah.
I see his sentiment of saying we're going to play the first 8 minutes, see how it goes.
Yeah.
Because, crazy stuff does happen in the league. I get it.
Yeah.
But you at their
not against
plays against that team, and you got an older team that's injury prone.
Yeah.
I'd say take the foot off the gas at halftime, because Luka was already limping around at that point.
Yeah, we should have pulled right into the driveway.
Luka should have been pulled out.
Yeah.
Luka should have been pulled out before he was. And
so Luka is trying to make a comeback, and we'll see what happens. Although I'm gonna be honest with you, I personally think this season is just about ready to wrap up. Because I don't. You're not.
I said gout about to flare up.
It's not gout. It's not. It's not. It's not gout.
Even though I will say it may not, because he does have one last rise as the focal point of the offense.
So let's stay right there. Is this his last hurrah as a Laker, or does he? The only thing I thought
feels
about
like
was
he's
this.
trying to make the case to stay.
I was going to say the only thing I was thinking about is, number one, Bronny has not gotten himself to a place of true independence to where his game could stand on its own, and he either stay with the Lakers or be picked up by someone else. So I could see him wanting to stay. until Bronny takes that next step. So that's number one. Then number two, why happy wife, happy life? And why would you leave LA and bust
I
that
can see
up?
all
And,
those points, and you're 1,000% correct on his end. Now put yourself on the Lakers' end.
It's going to have to be a really financially favorable deal for the Lakers. They sit in the driver's seat. They sit in the driver's seat.
Even then, it's like you said, it's got to be fun because they've got to be able to bring in other players.
Yeah,
and I just don't see it. I just don't. I just don't see them winning a title with him there. And it's not a knock on LeBron as much as I like to pick on LeBron. It's not a knock on LeBron. It's just the way their roster is structured. I mean, they need a lot of pieces. They need a lot to be able to come out of that West.
But to be fair, they've positioned themselves now to go get a lot of pieces. So there's like 5 or 6 1-year deals. These guys that are on 1-year deals, or at least 2 and an option. And so that's kind of where you want to be if you're trying to rebuild around a guy. And so now I've said this all season long, and I think it really rings true now, because the one thing that Thunder game did highlight, as great as the Lakers had been playing and who they've been beating and all that stuff, you found out there's still a significant difference between what the Lakers are doing and what the Thunder are doing. And part of the problem is you have a backcourt that cannot defend well. So you got to decide, philosophy-wise, are we going to accept that and then build a wall around them from the front court, or are we going to let Austin Reeves walk and go try to get other pieces that fit maybe better around Luke? Because really, as Austin Reeves needs to be Klay Thompson for really this to work, if you understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to be a true 3 and D guy, and he's not.
He doesn't have the D part.
Right, he doesn't have the D part at all. That's not what he does, and that's no shade. It's just the reality. He's kind of, he's not the fastest. He's not the most athletic. He's just he's not the strongest.
He's decent athletically, but he's not the strongest. And I don't know. The way the Lakers are, they're in NBA purgatory. They're too good to get anything in the draft, and they're not good enough to win a title.
Right.
They're just they're literally in purgatory right now.
Yeah, they got to find a lot of things.
Being a 3 seed.
And honestly, I'm of the opinion that I'd rather go ahead and take whatever sweep is coming, and let's start the process of rebuilding than to keep dragging this out all season.
I mean, they're to a point now, and I know people are going to think it's great. I think they need to just rip it down to the studs. Get rid of LeBron, get rid of Austin Reeves, get rid of all that junk, DeAndre Ayton, get rid of all of it.
Well, if you listen to JJ, he's kind of in your wheelhouse. I think he's
they're not winning with this. They're not winning with.
And that's listen, all you can do is put the guy out there and see what happens. They put Ayton out there. They thought some days he's motivated, some days he's not, and then
that's been his career though.
That has been his career. and then also when a guy,
Lloyd,
yeah,
we called that in August or whenever it was he signed.
Yeah, no, we did it because it's either gonna go one way or another. There's no middle ground with Ayton. There's no middle ground. And when your coach is saying you can't catch the ball, you can't catch the ball as an NBA player. That's crazy.
They've got to tear it down to the studs,
which I think they are. I honestly think they are.
But then at the same time, we say that, but I'm looking at Luka. He ain't no spring chicken either at this point. He's getting up near 30 at this point, isn't he?
No, he's 27. He's got some time.
He's getting near 30, and he's injury prone though.
Well, that does give you pause. That constant hamstring thing that's happening with him.
Because now he's getting hurt. Because now he's in shape and he's getting hurt.
But the problem is all of the heavy lifting that he's being asked to do. And that's where I think the whole thing has to be looked at. Like, why is this guy being asked to score 30 to 40 points a game? That's a lot of points, and it takes a lot of shots to get. And by the way, Luka doesn't shoot an array of shots. The majority of those shots are long distance or mid-range shots. So if that's if all of your shots require lift, at some point your legs are going to be like, hey man, we might need a break from all this shooting like 20 and 30 feet out all the time like that. So it's just physics at that point. Mm-hmm. So I'm good. If you're a Laker fan, you have to be somewhat concerned here about
getting back and getting back to LeBron. Plus, he also said he hates going home too. What got lost in the whole Memphis conversation, he said he hates going home too.
Yeah,
and which I'm like,
by the way, the Memphis conversation is stupid.
It's stupid, but whatever.
Because Memphis is an awful place. It's awful. Jesus Christ, it's awful.
I've got a love for Memphis.
I love Memphis food.
I love Memphis. I love the people of Memphis. I've got so many friends from Memphis.
Maybe you just like a good Jerry curl and a good goal.
Look, man, like Butch and I was talking about, when Houston Nutt came to Murray, he brought Memphis with him. And so that's when I got familiar with a lot of people from Memphis because he's from Arkansas. And so I got love for people from Memphis. Now, everybody I know from Memphis, no matter how nice they are, has a crazy streak. But I got love for Memphis.
I love the people of Memphis for sure. Memphis as a city is awful. It is. LeBron is not wrong. He's
not the first person to say it. I mean,
it's just not.
We've been saying on here, it's like they're not going to get free agents after build through the draft because nobody wants to move to Memphis.
Nobody wants to live in Memphis. It's just not.
But
I don't know any player that dreamt to go to Memphis.
Yeah, but that on the side, he also threw his own hometown under the bus, which
he's not wrong about that either.
I've never been to Cleveland, so I can't say.
Yeah,
or Akron. I've driven through both of them. That's it.
Yeah.
But if we're looking at it, going back home makes the most sense for LeBron.
Well, now that's a different conversation because you're 1,000% correct. It puts him directly in alignment with a title shot. It probably elevates them to true title contention, because him being the third wheel there could actually work. He's proven that with the Lakers this season. He can adjust. So him adjusting to Harden and to Donovan Mitchell, and then he would make that front court that much stronger and smarter and also more capable defensively. Because
they've had an issue with that wing. The wing is they've been trading to get that wing, and they just have not been able to get. Now, is LeBron at 42 years old? The answer to that probably defensively, probably not.
Well, I would take 20 to 25 minutes worth of LeBron at that wing position over anything they got right now.
And plus, they need LeBron because as good as Mobley is, Mobley can disappear.
Yeah,
and he can. He hasn't been this year. He's not been the same Mobley we've seen the upward trajectory of his career. This year, he's not been that.
I'll take LeBron's 15 and 10 in Cleveland.
I think it's a great landing spot.
It's a great landing spot. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the offseason with the Los Angeles Lakers as a result of that.
As much as I like to make fun of him having gout,
he doesn't have gout. He doesn't have gout.
I think he'll be great. I think he would be a great move for him to land in back home and give him a chance for another ring. I think that's his best shot at another ring is back in Cleveland.
So the West is pretty much set. I think the Thunder at 1, the Spurs at 2, the Nuggets at 3. Although there is some interesting stuff happening at the backside of this these last 3 games with the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets have the Spurs and the Thunder to close. If I'm not mistaken.
Nuggets are scary, dude. If coming down the stretch. They end the season with the Thunder.
I think the Nuggets are both.
Be the end of the season. They play the Thunder tomorrow.
They play the Thunder and they play the Spurs. So the Nuggets could theoretically.
Yes, they play the Thunder at home tomorrow,
right? And
they're at the Spurs on Sunday.
So the Thunder theoretically, the Nuggets theoretically could either lock up the 3, or they could end up back in the 4 or 5. Like, it's a weird, depending on how all of this plays out, it's a very weird mix going on here at the end of the season because I think they have the 2 most difficult games, if I'm not mistaken, because I think the Lakers have. Let's see. We're here. The Lakers have Golden State, which, by the way, became increasingly more difficult. They have that tonight. Now that Steph is back and Steph is Stephing again. That game could be a loss.
He's Stephing again, but I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know.
To Steph for being the competitor that he is.
Yeah, he just wants Steph.
No reason for Steph to be playing right now. I'm glad he is. Selfishly, I'm so happy he's
right. As a fan, you're like,
I'm like,
yeah,
what are you
I
doing
love
this
it.
for?
But yeah, I don't know why. He loves the game. That's all I can say. He loves the game. But then they have Phoenix and Utah to close out the season, which aren't really easy wins. But they need them. The Lakers need all three, and they need the Nuggets to win, to lose both of those games to probably stay at the 3, to get back to the 3.
So the lowest the Lakers can fall is 5.
Yes, the lowest they're going to fall is 5. And then the Rockets, they have, which is the third one in this conversation of 3 through 5. The Rockets have to close out. They've got Philly tonight, Minnesota on Friday. So that's a back-to-back, and then Memphis. But the good news is they have all of those at home. So that may be the thing that maybe helps them to land in the – it is more likely that the Lakers could fall to the 5, and then the Rockets get the 4, and then the Nuggets stay at 3. But I don't know. Or the Rockets could get to the 3. So it's a very interesting.
The Lakers could, because the Lakers could win out. They very well could.
They could.
They're probably favored to win out, if we're being honest. At Golden State, home for Phoenix and Utah.
I would think if the Lakers win out, it is likely. Now the thing is, the Nuggets are a game and a half up. So that's the thing that might help them. If they win out tonight or Friday, then it's over. They're probably gonna, that half a game is gonna be the reason why they take the 3 spot. But if they lose, if the Lakers win tonight, which puts them at a game, then now the Nuggets have to win out to get the 3, and it's more likely that they're not going to win out. So, and it's more likely that, like you said, the Lakers would win out, and the Lakers own the tiebreakers over the Nuggets and the Rockets. So it's going to be an interesting final few days.
Yeah, I say the Lakers they're more likely to stay put.
Do you want LeBron running himself into the ground to get to the 3 spot? Is it more advantageous to get to the 3 spot? That's the question. Because in order to do that, LeBron's got to be 2000.
Not necessarily, because I say they got 3 winnable games.
Yeah, but he's got to put up some numbers for them to even have a chance. Because somebody's got to come alongside. Like, it's got to be him, Luke Kennard,
Phoenix is the
Jackson
wild.
Hayes.
Because Phoenix is just good enough to beat them.
Yes.
And go, as long as Steph is on the floor, Golden State's got a shot.
You saw what Golden State pushed the Rockets, and they pushed they forgot who the other team they played the other night. They won. Steph was going crazy, and just like Steph is Steph, man. Steph is a game changer. By the way, I may be starting a free Steph Curry campaign here soon. Because it just doesn't feel right that his career is not going to end in playoffs, like long playoff runs or substantial playoff runs. And so I'm of the opinion that we should start a free Steph Curry. Because playing every year is crazy. Like, that's crazy for a guy who's accomplished as much as he has. Playing every year is crazy. So free Steph Curry. I think if there's anybody LeBron could go to, it could be them.
I mean, since he already threw Cleveland under the bus, but I don't.
Keep in mind, he doesn't like the owner either. He doesn't like Cleveland's owner. So.
Real true. I don't think they're a title contender with LeBron, though.
They're not a title contender with LeBron by himself. But
I'm talking about the 3 of them: him, Jimmy, and Steph. I don't think it's a title.
Well, it's not just him. 3 of them. It would be Jimmy. It'd be him. It'd be Porzingis, and it would be Draymond.
I stand by my statements.
They'd be interesting, but could they? What we're really asking is, could they sustain it for 1 year? And by the way, sustain it for 1 year.
Porzingis ain't gonna. For one, Porzingis ain't gonna withstand it for a year.
No, he's not. But that's not what they're looking for him to do. They're looking for him the same thing that Boston was looking for him to do. We don't care that you can do it for a year. We care, can you be there in April? And that's all they're asking for all those guys. If they're just like, can we stay out of the play-in?
But that's the thing, though. They've got to get to April.
They got to get to April. That's the X factor.
April outside of the play-in game.
That is the X factor. Can they get to April? Is that the question? And lingering above all of this is the Giannis factor. And by the way, if ever there was certainty that Giannis is gone, this week has pretty much solidified that.
Solidified that. You're on the free Steph Curry. I'm on the free Devin Booker.
I'm definitely on free Devin Booker. I've been on free Devin
Even
Booker.
though part of it was same with both of them. They don't want to leave where they're at. And I can understand. understand. Look, Phoenix is a beautiful place.
It is.
And
not a bad place to live.
And Steph helped build everything that's in San Francisco.
But
Phoenix with Golden State, it's not necessarily poor management while they're there. They just aged. Phoenix is bad management. I know you hate Dunleavy, but
I was gonna say
Phoenix is bad.
It's
not what Phoenix. It's not Phoenix.
No, Phoenix is bad all the way around. And by the way, it's crazy how fast bad management came into view, because we're talking about a team that is 3-4 years removed from the finals. Is it 3 years or 4 years removed from the finals?
The first year we were out of COVID, so would that be 21?
It was either 21 or 22, but yeah. Either way, it's 4 or 5 years out of the finals. And then it went from finals to irrelevancy.
Right.
Like overnight.
Like, so, I forgot that. I didn't even realize they were in the play-in right now.
And firmly at 7. Like they're not moving from 7. Everybody's got their play-in positions now. So they'll play the Clippers, and then Portland will play Golden State, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
That's the other part with the Lakers and Golden State. Portland's coming. And I was last night years old when I realized that Tiago Splitter was coaching them. I was like,
is that who that coach is?
Yes, that's the interim coach is Tiago Splitter. I was like, what, he just playing like last season?
Oh, that's right, because Chauncey's gone. I forgot. I was like, wait a minute, Chauncey. Oh, that's right. Chauncey's fighting for his life. So
but Portland's got some good young pieces. They're probably going to add some more good young pieces in this upcoming draft.
Yeah.
Portland's coming. Minnesota and Houston aren't going anywhere. I don't understand the Clippers.
I don't understand the Clippers. I don't understand the Jazz.
The Mavericks.
Pelican.
I like what the Mavericks. What the opportunities they have. I mean, they have a good young star, so they're coming. I
think the Mavs.
These aging teams like Golden State and LA. I don't know how sustainable it is.
Well, they're not trying to. I want to be clear. I want to be clear. I think the reason why the Lakers have dramatically overhauled their front offices, and the Lakers are modeling the Dodgers, because their owner is the owner of the Dodgers, to look like the Dodgers ownership. So the Lakers are going to look dramatically different this offseason than they've ever looked in the history in my lifetime of watching the Lakers. They're not going to look like the same.
Yeah, if they battle like the Dodgers, they'll look like the Showtime Lakers because they had all the players.
No.
The difference is, though, there's no salary cap in baseball.
Well, there isn't, but also they have an owner who may not be as excited or may not care as much about that. He's making money hand over fist, and that ownership group has been incredibly creative when it comes to salaries. Like that, what he did with, first of all, the only reason he's able to do what they're doing with Shohei Ohtani is because Shohei Ohtani deferred everything that he had. Yeah. Right. So maybe there's some creativity that they're looking at with the Lakers to say, hey, let's figure this thing out with creatively. And I think it's going to look dramatically different and far more professional, because the truth is, and I think I've said this before, the Lakers have been a mom and pop ran organization the entire time.
Yeah, the buses, that was the family business, where these other teams, the NBA team is just basically a side hustle.
Yeah.
Their money comes elsewhere. The buses were
This is everything. This was everything.
Yeah.
Like ironically, like the Cowboys. This is everything. So it feels very mom and pop-ish a lot of times, which is why the decisions become what they become. But now that you have like all these professional people who understand basketball that are going to be in the building, it should be interesting to see how different the Lakers are. If it looks like the Dodgers, it's going to look pretty good.
I think they can go in the right direction. I just think it's going to take a while, because it's going to be a while. Because I mean, when Luka's not 30 yet, but when you look at the teams that are at the top of the league, ain't nobody close to 30 on the Thunder.
No.
Spurs ain't nobody close to 30 on the Spurs.
No.
Denver's probably the only
Denver's kind of old
team.
Denver's kind of old.
Yeah, and Houston. But
Houston's very old.
But like Minnesota's, their young stars, he's still 25 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you look at the stars on each of these teams, most of them are younger than Luka. And so
there is a crossroad element to the Lakers. I'm not gonna call Luka old, but they're definitely.
I think they're closer to winning a title when Luka becomes the second option than they are as the first option.
We'll see. Again, a lot of it will depend on what they're able to accomplish this summer, and I think the Lakers are for sure going to swing for the fences all summer long.
Yeah, the whole Giannis thing is that's the whole thing.
Well, maybe. I don't know if Giannis is the only thing that they're after.
Yeah, well, I don't know what else is out there, though.
Well, quietly, definitely not as loud as the Giannis thing. There's other stuff like the Jokic thing. Jokic could opt out, or he's in his final 2 years, and I wonder sometimes with him how much more heavy lifting does he want to do, because he is doing a lot of heavy lifting for that team. So we'll see. And now you're not solving your defensive problem by bringing in Jokic at all, because nothing is more
my favorite
fun
thing to watch.
Yeah, nothing is more fun to watch than Jokic's defense. It's interesting. A lot of interesting things are going to happen this summer, and I'm as excited about what's going to happen after the NBA season as I am about these playoffs. Because
I'm excited about these playoffs, man.
Yeah, playoffs should be good. Playoffs should be good. And now the East looks like it's going to be a solid time, because first of all, let's be clear. The Detroit Pistons did not blink without Cade Cunningham.
A
lot of us thought they would, but they didn't.
And they did not. But I'll tell you who the coach of the year is. To me, is the Hawks coach, Snyder.
For turning that around?
They've had 3 different seasons in one season.
They have.
They came in with all the expectations. There was people picking them to go to the finals in the off season.
Yeah. To
trading away their best player.
Yeah.
To like, okay, they're going to be in the gutter. To now, they're fifth in the Eastern Conference. Solid, coming for Cleveland. They're going to give Cleveland all they want in the first round of the playoffs. They're like, Quinn Snyder needs to be coach of the year in the league.
I think Quinn's going to be in the conversation. I think our guy at Boston is going to be in the conversation, because
he should be.
This is supposed to be a gap year, and it was not. Detroit, JB will be in the conversation. Missoula is what I was thinking of.
Missoula.
Yeah. JB will definitely be in the conversation for the Pistons, because nobody had that on their bingo card. Do you put Oklahoma City's coach? Probably not, because they were expected to do this. So there's nothing that he really did other than
he's in that Phil Jackson spot to where you've got the most talented team. You can't win.
You should be winning, right? That's probably your list. I think all of your true contestants for contenders for coach of the year are definitely in the East. I don't know if anybody in the West I'd put in that conversation. Maybe Tiago Splitter just because of everything that happened with Portland, and he still got them to a play-in. That's kind of impressive. But other than that,
I don't think they'll. And it's not his fault, but I just don't think they'll give an interim coach the coach of the year.
I don't think so either.
He has an interim label on him, so
I don't think so either. So I think your coach of the year is definitely coming from the East. But I want to get over to the Giannis thing real quick. How bad is that? Like the stuff that came out this week.
It's gotten so ugly, but this is what Giannis needed to do to get out of there.
It makes it cleaner.
He should have done that last year.
It makes it a lot cleaner. Doc, I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and I said, "Can you name another coach, not Phil Jackson, and not Pat Riley, that has had more Hall of Fame or All-Star talent and not gotten the max out of that?" I couldn't think of anybody.
I don't want to be mean, but I think Doc's one of the more overrated coaches.
Well, Doc's then put some respect on his name because he's now a Hall of Famer. Which, by the way,
the basketball Hall of Fame.
I feel a way about it. I ain't gonna lie to you. when I saw this class, I was like,
I mean, no disrespect to Ella Deladon, but come on.
I wasn't comfortable with Ella Deladon, but I was more uncomfortable with Amari. At least Elena Deladon has won a title. Amari Stoudemire,
yeah, it's basically like
I like Amari Stoudemire. I really like Amari.
But he's not a Hall of Famer. He's in the Hall of Good.
He's the Hall of Good. Like I can't imagine that you're putting Amari Stoudemire's jersey next to Kobe's. Like that seems weird. Like it's not. They're not the same.
Criteria is not strong.
The only one that I thought was like, yes, of course, Candace Parker is, of course. She needs a wing. She needs her own wing.
She probably should already been in there,
right?
But they need to separate. They need a basketball Hall of Fame. Then they need an NBA/WNBA Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of players in that Hall of Fame. I'm like,
by the way,
should not be standing next to Moses Malone.
By the way, I wasn't comfortable. I wasn't really comfortable with Doc Rivers or Mark Few. If I'm being honest,
I'm not comfortable with Mark Few at all.
I was like, and listen, he is Gonzaga basketball. So let's be clear about that. He is Gonzaga basketball.
He's in the Hall of Good.
Right. It's not. Come on.
He's in the basketball Hall of Fame.
We can't keep.
That's a stretch. To me, it's a stretch to even put him in the college basketball Hall of Fame.
It is because
you gotta win a title, man.
I don't understand how you can get in if you haven't won at least. Title has to be the bare minimum, right? It has to be.
It has to be.
I don't know. It's weird to me, but I feel like the Basketball Hall of Fame is scared to not have people in every year.
They put names. If you are a name at some point in basketball, you get in the Hall of Fame.
Is it a fundraiser? Does that event fund the Hall of Fame?
Well, the Hall of Fame isn't. If you've ever been to the Hall of Fame, it's in a strip mall. It's not like it's literally in a strip mall. Like where they have the ceremony is not where the Hall of Fame is.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, are they paying for the strip mall? Is that why they have this ceremony?
I'm serious, they probably sustained it.
Because I'm saying none of the, like, if you look at the list of people that are going to the Hall of Fame this year, it doesn't make sense. Like it does.
Really
there's
doesn't.
only one name
Candace
on there.
The only one.
So why not just have Candace by herself? Like she deserves that. She's earned that. But they're like, we're gonna put Amari in. We're gonna put all these people who have had marginal success at best. It's very weird. It's very weird. I am happy for Seth Davis.
Huh?
I am happy for Seth Davis. Getting to Kurt Gowdy. I think Seth has done substantial work to justify giving him something. He has. He's done some good work.
This is the way you said it.
Yeah, well, you know.
Let's see. I'm looking at the whole list right now.
It's not good.
Parker. I mean, well,
It's
Shamika,
not good.
I guess I can see Shamika.
Shamika, I forgot Shamika. Shout out to Shamika. Although
she didn't win anything.
She didn't win anything, and
I don't see Mike. I don't
but
understand.
If you look
Mike.
at the totality, at Tennessee, she was dominant. So I'll
give you that. I'll give you that. But Mike D'Antoni and Mark Few?
Absolutely not.
And Doc Rivers?
Absolutely not. Why are we giving at least Doc won a title? So
at least he won a title.
But Mike D'Antoni, no.
I don't get it.
No, I don't know. He got it because of the contributors committee. I don't know what that even means. Like, so because he participated in professional basketball, that gives him. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. So anyway, the '96 United States women's national team. I guess I don't know. I guess that's fine. You can make an argument that they get it every year. They should get it every year. So the women's basketball team and the Olympic teams, they should get it all of their teams should be in the Hall of Fame. So, you know, they're the most dominant basketball faction that we have in sports. Like they win everything every year.
Yeah, because like there's a reason why they're not playing US versus the world in the All-Star game.
100%. 100%. That is very, very true. So anyway, we digress on that. But yeah, it's a weird mix going in the Hall of Fame. Listen, shout out to the ones that got it and you got your votes and you're in. And
I don't want to be disrespectful to them. I'm just saying it seems like the criteria needs to be.
It's not like baseball.
No,
baseball don't give a flying flip about
like baseball. Nothing's
right.
Like baseball.
Well, I'm just saying baseball is way more selective.
The only thing I don't respect about the Baseball Hall of Fame is the whole steroid stuff. But outside of that,
we call that the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
I don't respect the hypocrisy.
But outside of that, how tough they make it to get in, I can respect that.
Brutal. It's brutal to get in. So there you go. All right. So there we are. We're next week will be the play-in week for the NBA. And that will be interesting to see who. I'm very interested in seeing the Charlotte Hornets. That's the team that really has got my attention because they could make it very difficult for some people. I think they could legitimately beat the Miami Heat in a one-game scenario. They could legitimately beat Philly. Is interesting because they're
the wild card, I think, in the Eastern Conference. Because if they're healthy, which they're not, ever.
Yeah, they're never healthy.
But however,
they're never healthy.
They could throw a monkey wrench into everything in the East. Because when they all five do play, when their starting five does play,
they're interesting.
They can beat anybody. But I don't have faith that all five can play a 7-game series.
Speaking of having losing faith, is anybody more disappointing this season than the Orlando Magic?
No. Only ones more disappointing was Atlanta in the first entity of
the first entity. I agree. But they fixed that and they got that right. But Orlando, you're like, y'all have a lot of stuff. Like, there's a lot of talent on this team. Why is it not coming together? Health has been a big issue, but Banchero's been wildly inconsistent. He's not. I don't think I'm starting to think he's not a true number one. I think he's a complementary part. I think he needs to be the number two. Yeah, he could be a great number two for somebody though, in the right situation. Matter of fact, if I'm being honest, that might be a great answer to that team playing in the crypto staple.com.org team. Yeah. So you're right. Something to look at if in the offseason. It doesn't help too for Orlando when the Wagners combined played 68 games. Yeah. Because there's so much put on those two guys, and they need both Wagners to play at a high level, and they have not been available. Availability is the greatest ability. You got to be there. So, and they have not. So there's that. All right. Before we get out of here, we always got to give you what we've been looking at and what we've been watching. We call it the rest of the stuff. Listen, we're biased on this show. We love Tournament of Champions. It's been fantastic this season.
Yes, that is what Lloyd and our text streams are more about TOC than they are the NBA.
About anything else. We are fully invested in TOC. Can I be honest? The Stephanie Izard win shocked me beyond shock, because it wasn't just that she won, it was the margin of victory. And I was like,
yeah,
really?
The margin of victory.
Because I thought for sure she was going to lose.
I thought she was going to win.
I thought she was
going to win by watching them prepare.
Okay.
But I did not see her winning like that.
She dominated. But also, I got Kenny.
Kenny, I was so proud of him.
Kenny is killing. Kenny is killing it by keeping it simple. He is not complicating his dishes at all. He looks at the randomizer.
This man won with a sloppy Joe.
With a sloppy and it wasn't close.
No.
It was a 10-point.
It was the highest score of the whole tournament.
It was a 10-point win in the 90s, which nobody gets a 90 ever. Let's start there. And listen, I'm so impressed by this guy. He's sneaky, could be the guy. I think it's him. I don't know. Jet is always consistently good. Jet Li is always consistently good. So you got to wonder, can Jet pull this out and make this thing work? I don't know. It's going to be an interesting run here at in the final 8. There's just a lot of talent, and this could go any and every different kind of way. I'm wondering if we're going to finally get our first male winner on this show.
I'm back
because we have not.
In the house right now.
I'm wondering if we're finally going to get our first male winner on this show, because the men, this is the strongest the men have ever been on TLC.
Yeah, because I'm ashamed of myself because I kind of counted Kenny out, but then not anything against him. I was just looking at the other people.
Yeah, no, I got you. And
but
by the way,
after that performance the other night, I'm like, he might have to be.
Kenny's new, and he's definitely a wild card. Like, you don't know, because he thinks so simply. You're thinking that's not going to work, is it? And then when you see the finished product, you're like, well, now listen, that could work. And then they taste the food. They're like, oh my God, this is the most amazing sloppy Joe I've had. It takes me back to my as soon as they said this takes me back to my childhood, I said, oh,
yeah. As soon as she said she grew up eating sloppy Joes, I was like, this is a wrap.
He got it. He got it again. So this is a phenomenal final 8. I'm excited about Kenny. I'm excited about Kevin, who, by the way, I think somebody should put Brett Rosenio on a watch, because she looked so defeated.
She was so defeated.
And then when she said, I just don't know if I can keep going. Like, hold on. Just
let's pump the brakes a little bit.
Calm down. Like, it's not that serious. It's not, your therapy serious. I don't think it. Maybe it is. I don't know. But she definitely didn't expect to go out this early, but when she put the pepperoni in the
pepperonis threw her off when she got so excited about the burger that I don't think she realized that pepperonis and hamburger don't really go together. I thought the burger was actually a really good idea. I did too.
But when she said I'll put the pepperoni in there, I was like, that doesn't sound like a good idea. That sounds like you're just making a kind of a hot mess, and it'll have an interesting flavor. But it's not going to be like
because the best she could do is what she did do is grind the pepperonis up into the ground beef, that's the best you can do with it. Because like pepperonis on top of a burger,
but
unless only way you can make that work, I would think, is to make it kind of like a pizza on top of the burger.
If I'm being honest, that's what I would have done. I would not have put that, because once you put that dry pepperoni into the burger,
all that salt and the
it doesn't even matter, right? And
it
it doesn't even matter what you cook it on. Like even if you do a medium cook or a medium rare cook, it's still going to dry it out because you got all the salt,
and the pepperoni.
Yeah, it's just not going to taste good. So I was like, I didn't think that was a good play at all. But
I didn't either. She
was confident, and then they tasted it. It was like, this is not good. So, so Kevin's solid, Kenny's solid. The young lady that coming back from cancer, I forget her name. I'm drawing a blank here, but she's a force.
Everybody's good.
It's mean, anybody's game.
It's wide open. Anybody can win this one.
It's anybody's game. I selfishly root for Jet because I've always
and see, and like after the first week, I was like, okay, Jet's gonna get this. I just felt like it was his year.
Felt like it.
Yeah, but then Kenny came through.
And Stephanie's cooking her behind off right now.
Yeah.
Stephanie looks like the Iron Chef. That's the Stephanie I always thought would be here for TOC, and she's never shown up for it like this. So now that she's a lower seed and she had to fight her way in, it seems like she's found that thing again.
Found the groove,
yeah, she's found that groove again. So now, listen, Sunday is going to be amazing. Cannot wait for Sunday.
I mean, have your heads up. I'm not going to be able to watch it until Monday because she's out of town. So I can't watch it yet.
All right, I won't text you.
So,
we normally text during the show.
Yeah.
So now I can't text you. Okay.
And don't get fooled that Tournament of Champions is over with, because once that's over, 24 starts.
24. We're not done here.
We're not done here at all.
Because 24 is next. And by the way, and I don't know if you do this, I do this. I'm also a Master Chef fan, and Master Chef is on his way back next week as well.
I'm not really into the Master Chef,
but
I am, and I do
I'm
like
a Gordon Ramsay guy.
I like the food truck battle once 24 is over with.
Okay.
And I feel like it's one in between 24 and the food truck though. The barbecue brawl.
The barbecue brawl is also a good time.
I'm telling you, if you're not on the Food Network, they dominate Sundays, especially once football season's over.
You're missing it. You are missing it.
Dominate Sunday.
You're missing it. Also, and my girls and I, we like Next Level Chef. We just like food competition shows.
Yeah.
And so that's we've been watching.
She's gotten into
Next
the bakery shows.
The bakery ones are
only thing about they are too tough on the bakery shows.
It's hard. The bakery shows are hard. They are very, very hard.
They judge them on like the slightest of things.
And that's the thing. I don't necessarily because I'm not a baker, I don't necessarily understand the nuance of, because all that stuff looks good to me. I'm like, that looks like a 10 to me. I don't know what you're talking about. This looks amazing. So I don't necessarily get it. With the cooking, because I cook, I understand everything they're saying. Yeah.
Plus with cooking, I feel like with cooking, you have more leniency to do your thing than you do with the baking stuff.
There's some hard and fast rules with baking that you cannot break. So I don't necessarily enjoy that as much.
With the cooking show, especially I love the barbecue shows.
Barbecue shows,
you can put your personality into that.
Absolutely. So watch that. The boys are back.
The boys are back.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I heard it. I heard the first 2 episodes are hilarious. I haven't watched them yet.
I'm conflicted. I'll be honest with you, because The Boys is a hard watch. It is one of the most psychologically twisting shows that you've ever seen, because there are no rules. everything is on the table.
Literally every single thing is on the table.
Everything is on the table with The Boys. It is when you're watching, you're like,
what kind of drugs are these people on writing this stuff?
I promise you, I'm a 52-year-old man, and every time I watch The Boys, I'm looking for my parents. Like, should I be watching? I don't think I should be watching this. This is a lot. This is a lot.
It's a lot.
I'm tempted to not watch anything until the May 20th season finale. I'm really tempted.
Well, I'm going to go back Well, I started doing a rewatch anyway,
Okay.
but then I got away from the rewatch. And you know how it is on Prime. If you've already watched the shows, it just says you've watched them, even if you start rewatching them. So I don't know where I left off at. So now I think I'm gonna have to go all the way back to the beginning again.
Oh man.
And then I've heard that the Gen V show, you need to watch that. And so
I heard
it's
exactly basically the same thing. It's like
I heard you don't have. They started incorporating it into the end of season 4, so like you can save on watching Gen V until the 4th after you finish the 4th season of The Boys.
I just it's a lot. The Boys is a lot. It really is a lot. I don't know. I've been very conflicted about it because it's like it's too much. It's too much.
Sometimes it is too much.
It is too much. Like there are scenes where you go, what the hell am I watching? What is this? This is like it's a lot.
It's one episode in particular in the 2nd season, the party episode with a certain the certain body part.
I had to watch that in sections. Like I'd watch a little bit, then I'd stop, and then I'd watch a little bit more, and then I'd stop, and then I'd fast forward. I said, man, I don't think I'm supposed to be watching this. And then your family, your kids are watching it, and your wife walks in. What the hell are you watching? I don't know. I don't know. I did not create this. I don't know.
I didn't know it was going in this direction.
I didn't know they were going this far. They have no boundaries and no sense of boundary on The Boys. So, but it is back, ladies and gentlemen. It is back. So there you go. So that's going on. Just finished the Paradise finale.
I haven't finished that yet.
It's fantastic. I think it lives up to the hype. And they've already started season 3, which is awesome. So there you go. And by the way, I heard season 3 is the final season, which is
really?
Yeah, they're gonna end it. They're gonna end a lot of shows are deciding, which I think is good, to go out before you're kicked out.
Yeah.
And I like that because a solid 3-season arc that ends well is good.
And if you think about it, a lot of shows, they kind of do jump the shark after 3 seasons.
It's hard, man, to keep.
It's hard to get good going past 3, especially shows that are based on books.
Yeah,
which that's not. But if any show that's kind of based on a book, because after you can squeeze 2, maybe 3 seasons out of a book, then you're on your own, and a lot of times they don't know where they're going.
And we're talking dramas, by the way. I'm talking strictly dramas. Like sitcoms, you can kind of finagle your way through for as long as it's funny. But with dramas, it's incredibly hard to tell long arcs and make it sustain. Like the fact that Grey's Anatomy is still on the air is insane to me. It's insane to me. I actually started watching a little bit of that this weekend for some reason.
I've never really watched it, but I have noticed that hospital shows do tend to stick.
They tend to stay on a little bit longer, but which, by the way, The Pitt is headed toward its season finale. It looks like it's going to be really good.
I've never watched it.
The Pitt's good. Pitt's a good time. It's a hard watch because they're very intense and they are all about the medical side. It is not about ancillary dramas and romances and none of that stuff that you get from most medical shows. The Pitt is about, we're gonna rip this knee open and show you all the inside of it and how this works, and that's the drama. So it's very intense. It's very, very intense. If you can't stomach that type of stuff, I would not recommend The Pitt to anybody. But if you like Grey's Anatomy, then you should like The Pitt. It's kind of the same thing. But yeah, it's been good. But yeah, I'm excited about a lot of different things, but nothing more than TLC. Like TLC is my jam. So there you go. All right, that's all we got for you as far as that's concerned. This is going to be a quiet weekend, I think.
Yeah, just have the Masters.
Yeah, the Masters is going on starting today. Can Rory do it again? Is really the question that everybody wants to know. Can he pull it off again? And will he be challenged at all? The Masters
He'll be challenged.
Yeah, listen. Day one is always the footing ground of and it sets the tone significantly. So if somebody's going to
one though, I don't know if you like this, but like I don't like watching golf tournaments until Sunday.
I'm very much like that. I'm very much like that. I'll peek my head in today and tomorrow. I'll invest probably Sunday.
Yeah.
Like Sunday, I'll especially if it's close. Now, if it's a blowout, if somebody's like 7, 8, 9 strokes up, I probably won't take a look because usually that person's probably going to carry it, right. Barring a major collapse, which we've seen a couple of collapses in the last few years. So, but if it's close, I'll probably be invested and watch. What happens. Will Tiger be there? I didn't hear if he would be there. He won't be there. Okay.
His gout flared up.
His gout definitely flared up. His gout was so bad, he called the president and was like, hey, man, I got gout. I don't know if I had gout so bad it hit a car is what happened with Tiger Woods. Are you in on the I almost hate to bring this up, but are you in at all on the Stephen A. Matt Barnes beef? Are you in? Does that?
Man, ever since Kendrick and Drake blew up for their beef, everybody with a microphone got beef with each other.
I feel like I'm gonna tell you the truth. I feel like some of this is contrived. Like some of it does not feel authentic. Although I will say the Matt Barnes Pat Bev seems.
I think that's authentic.
Yeah, I think that
authentic on Matt Barnes, and Pat Bev is just trying to get clicks.
As he should, because he got fired from his podcast. So he's trying to,
all he does is name drop. But the Stephen A. and Matt Barnes stuff is kind of
better player, Matt Barnes or Pat Bev. Because they were arguing about that, and Pat says he's way better than Matt. And I'm like, way better?
Defensively.
Way better?
Defensively, maybe. Man, that's a maybe.
Yeah, I don't know about way better.
Barnes is a pretty good defensive player. I think it's a wash between the two, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're not that far off from each other, I think. Who would you like to hang out more with, though? Pat Bev or
Matt Barnes by far. Matt Barnes is hilarious. Pat Bev is just going to talk about Pat Bev. I mean, any guy that refers to himself in the third person all the time.
Yeah, I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. Okay.
Matt Barnes is funny.
Matt Barnes is funny.
He throwing jabs at Steven Jackson all the time on all the smoke, and it's hilarious.
Shout out to Steven Jackson too. Just had a birthday. Just had a birthday. All right. Anything else? Am I forgetting anything, Kendrick? I'm always trying to. Again, shout out to Butch Mosby, phenomenal guest. Such a good time having him on the show today. Appreciate him very much. Shout out to the wife who just pulled up and smiling because I think she's excited that we had him on, and we got to talk about her childhood friend or her classmate. So there you go. Can you think of anything else, Kendrick? Am I forgetting anything before we give our shout outs?
No, that's about it. U of L spring game is next week.
Nice.
Transfer.
I keep hearing a lot of good things, man.
They like this quarterback. He's more mobile than what they've had since he's been there. And so
I keep hearing a lot of good things coming out of the camp from several different places.
When I've seen him, there is a little bit more zip on the ball than we've seen.
Yeah.
And so,
he looks strong. He looks it could be interesting.
Yeah, I don't get excited about spring football.
Schedule is right. Like this
schedule's perfect.
Yeah, the schedule's perfect. Yeah. So also I just saw something with Louisville for all of our Louisville fans. They're in on a lot of the transfer portal could be
they've got 2 or 3 guys coming in this weekend.
Kid from Kansas, kid
from Oregon, kid from San Francisco, I believe.
They
definitely Oregon and Kansas kid. The third is I don't know.
The rumor is that the kid from Kansas really likes this atmosphere.
Well, him and the Oregon kid have the same agent.
So the agent likes his atmosphere.
Because I'm like, and I guess because you have to hurry up and get them in when you can. Because
it's quick now. It's very quick.
Because next week is the more ideal week to host because you have the spring game on Friday and Thunder over Louisville on Saturday.
Right.
So I mean, Louisville's going to be happening next weekend. So
I'm curious to see where all this is headed because Louisville definitely has a lot of rebuilding to do because they've lost a couple of significant pieces in the portal, which is ironic because Pat's having or Jeff is having the opposite problem of
losing Frew was a little bit of a surprise, but not that big of a loss. I think he
not really.
It's
a replaceable
surprise that hasn't. One that people were kind of speculating would leave. I didn't think he would leave. He hasn't hit the portal yet. Is Woolley. I think if you can keep him, that's big. Losing Kanai Roots and his inconsistency is not that bad.
I would say, yeah, it's not.
Yeah, like what Louisville lost that were important were people who were leaving anyway. That was, Conwell was a senior.
Right.
Hadley was a senior.
Right.
You knew
McHale is a top 10 pick, depending
top
on what
10
you
pick
think.
in the draft. Yeah, and so you were expecting him to go. There was some scuttlebutt that Zugris may leave, but he hasn't entered the portal yet, and so, which personally I want to keep Zugris just because Zugris makes me laugh.
He's a good time.
He is a good time,
yeah.
And I think Woolley really grew in the system, and I think if Woolley stays another year, he can really flourish. And Kelsey,
I think his is about
blue because when Michael went out the last time, and Woolley had to really step into that role, he did. He played really well for most of that last stretch of the season. And so I hope they can keep Woolley.
I think that'll be about the numbers. Can like what are the numbers going to look like signing what they want and then keeping what they need? Like, how do you balance those two things?
Shout out to U of L women. They haven't lost anybody yet.
Listen,
of consequence.
U of L women are shaping up to be a top 5, top 8 preseason team at this point. Like they're doing quite well, and between what they're keeping and what they're getting, they should
because they was able to keep Taj, they was able to keep McKinley Randolph, and so far, and they're able to keep Istanbululu.
And they all sound very motivated, which is nice.
Because I had heard some rumblings that Taj might leave, and then like last person that I talked to who would know was like, no, she loves it.
Well, I was going to say, her last 3 games in the tournament, she looked settled. Like she looked like she was starting to kind of get back to what we all thought she was going to be all season long. And I was like, okay, maybe something's there now. She's starting to figure some things out. And then Barry, I think Barry's still there, right?
And Barry's still there.
Yeah,
and I think that's going to be a very formidable backcourt next season.
I think so.
And then if Istanbululu and McKinley Randolph taking another step next year,
I'm not sure anybody grew more than Randolph.
Istanbululu.
I guess what I mean is that when you think about where they started to where they got to at the end of the season, because Randolph became like the person on the bench trying to, get significant minutes to we can't win without her. Like her effort, her contribution, her basketball IQ, which I didn't realize was as high as it is. It's insanely high. She's an incredibly smart player. So now you're talking about a team that is going to be smarter, wiser, more physical than they've ever been. This could be an interesting run that they have next year.
They'll be a top 10 team coming in.
Yeah. They can get some pieces.
Especially with whatever they get in the transfer portal.
Yeah. Now, having said all that, still, it's UConn, it's South Carolina, it's,
USC. I'm excited to see this USC team next
year. USC is going to be insane. By the way, if what is predicted happens, USC is going to be incredibly hard to beat because those I didn't mention. I haven't had a chance to mention this on any show, but everyone pay attention. Audie Crooks is out there looking for a team, and that could swing the entire women's basketball landscape where she lands. And rumors are very strong that she's maybe headed to USC. And if I'm USC,
they can afford her with the other 3 because they got 3 straight number 1 players in the country.
They do, and I would think they're going to have to find some money, significant money, and deals in the city. Like,
knock on Reggie Bush's door.
Right. Just they're going to have to figure. They have to get real creative. And I'm sure she's entertaining offers from everybody. I'm sure LSU's in there. I don't know if Don, she doesn't feel like the type of player Don wants, but she could be after the shellac.
After she just got happened to her, she might want to get a bigger, sturdier player because she's got a lot of long, skinny, athletic players. She might need a bruiser.
You might need a bruiser. And Audie brings a different dynamic to the table because she can score and she's physical and she's strong and she got all the stuff. So it'll be interesting to see where she lands and what system she. Listen, full disclosure, she'd be great with this team, with the Louisville team. She'd be phenomenal.
They can't afford her.
They can't afford her, but she'd be phenomenal. But you got to make the call at least. Like, hey, would you at least like to come hang out with us and see what she was, you know? But yeah,
Louisville's a good time next week.
Listen, we're gonna have a good time next week, Artie. Come hang out, eat some food. We got you. You know, gonna have a good time, see some good stuff. You know, but that could swing the entire women's basketball landscape for sure. To see where she goes. I don't think she's going to UConn. That doesn't feel right. LSU maybe. Maybe.
UConn wouldn't surprise me
because they freed up a lot of money now that Flage's gone. By the way, I'm a little shocked that she's not trying to go to the draft because I would think that she'd be at least a top 4 pick, top 5.
Yes, but they don't go early in the W.
But she's a senior. She's legitimately a senior, I think.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
I thought she had another year.
She does have another year.
I thought she was a junior. I don't know what grade anybody's in anymore.
I don't know what grade anybody's in. I think she's a senior, but also I know she stands to make way more going somewhere.
Playing that extra year.
Right. That she would ever make. No disrespect to WNBA, but if you can make $1 million plus in college, then you stay.
Right.
You stay, you know. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where she lands. It'll definitely be interesting. Okay, we gotta get out of here. Well, shout outs. Who be shouting out, my brother?
Shout out.
Spring ball's coming up.
Spring football game. Shout out to the Louisville Kings, still looking for their first win. I just thought of it because I just looked over at ESPN and saw the UFL.
Tough first loss.
They lost both. They're 0-2.
I missed the second one. So
they lost to Orlando last week. And they play Orlando again this week because UFL.
Right.
But they play on Friday. Shout out to my guy, Chris Redmond. Shout out to my cousin, Mo Owens, the defensive backs coach for them.
Nice. Very nice. I'm not even going to humble flex you for that.
You shouldn't.
No, I ain't going to say that.
My cousin's on the coaching staff?
Yes. That's literally what
of a UFL team?
Listen, is it a professional team or not? Are they playing on ESPN or not? You know, you're getting kind of dangerously close to one. If you might want to slow down here.
I brought the guest on. I don't get it from traffic.
You're right. And that's why you're not getting it. A phenomenal guest on. Shout out to my little brother who came here for the first time in 7 years with all of my nieces and nephews, which is one of the reasons why we may not be on the next 2 weeks because I have business to catch up on. That was a very tiring week. My nephews are on 10 all the time. They're twins, by the way. They are twins, by the way. And they came in hot, like Uncle Lloyd. I was like, oh my God. And I'm gonna tell you something. They made me realize very quickly that I am 52 years old now. I am for sure 52 years old. Because I was like, I don't know if I have this kind of energy anymore. So yeah, they were a good time. So and then also shout out to all 4 of my nieces and nephews are amazing. But that 2-year-old, which ironically is born on my birthday, she was the one that really blew me away.
Of course.
Well, listen.
Not because she's 2. The 2-year-old's awesome.
Well, listen, she just turned 2, and she has the wherewithal to understand. She's very aware and understands circumstances and situations. So, full disclosure. We went outside, took him outside, let him play in the yard. There's a dog next door in my sister's house. My sister lives next door. Dog's in the house. He heard the dog in the house barking. Immediately, she came into the house and said, Mom, Dad, Uncle Lloyd, I need to come in the house. And I said, well, baby, what's wrong? She said, there's a dog outside, and I can't outrun the dog. Wait, hold on. First of all, to have outrun in your 2-year-old vocabulary and in context is diabolical. So let's just think about that for a second. And then second of all, to understand that circumstance of I cannot outrun this dog. If this dog breaks free, I'm the one that's going to get trampled, not my brothers and sisters. It's me. So she did not go outside in
She's
the
very
backyard.
smart.
Listen, I said, girl, you're gonna be just fine.
Already.
You're gonna be fine. You're gonna make it in this world just fine. So, so yeah. So shout out to my brother and sister who came, and my sister in love who does this every day. How she does it, I have no idea. But she's the real MVP for sure. So we had a good time. Okay, that's it. That's all we got. We love each and every one of you. Enjoy your weekend. I can't believe I won't be able to text you this weekend. You just made the whole weekend like I gotta wait for your comments until Monday. That sucks, but okay.
Monday's if I take off.
Take off so you can see. Or you know what? Just I mean
I can't.
Okay, fine. Happy life, whatever. And with that being said, cue the whistle.